an hour a week, and if we can help somebody and you help somebody and everybody helps God's children, we'll all be a better place. So happy to be a part of that. Briefly want to say I had a great time at Steve's house last night, last Thursday night, my friend that we started the show for, and he is on the road to recovery, and God bless him. And Steve, we still love you and hope things continue to get better.
He's probably one of the only people who's a stinking Cardinals fan that I like, so he must be good.
It could be. So like I said, we're here at Miller's Ale House, and I still haven't gone back to Mimi's. I'm going with something warm because it's going to be cold. I did the chicken fajitas again.
Can't go wrong with that.
Fajitas?
I went with Philly cheesesteak today.
I think Larry did too, didn't you, Larry?
Yes, I did.
Double Philly cheesesteak.
What'd you get as your side?
And Mr. Burger over the Hamburger.
I am the Hamburglar.
Yeah. French onion soup.
They call me the Hamburglar.
All right, before we get into the show, let's get our Ron Smith commercial.
Making preparations for when you're not around anymore is not easy. Nobody likes to think about their own mortality, and we can talk about it next week. Doesn't always fit into the big picture, and that's why you should contact our friend Ron Smith at Senior Life Insurance. Whether you're being buried or cremated, costs keep going up, and you can lock in a price today to take this final expense off your to-do list. Do your loved ones a favor and take care of your final expense so that when your time does come knocking, they won't have to worry about it. If you're age 1 to 85, they have a plan ready for you. So contact Ron and his team tomorrow at 440-561-0758.
What is that number?
It was 440-561-0758.
And thank you, Ron Smith, for being a sponsor of Three Guys Who Love Sports. And speaking of great food, see, Al, speaking of great food like we have here at Miller's, if you ever just want to get barbecue, you got to go see this guy, Dave Poe, with Dave Poe's Barbecue, everybody. Listen, the audience has obviously had it before, Dave.
Happy to be in the house.
Yeah, happy to have you here. So, want to have Dave on a couple of reasons. Number one, they've been friends for a long, long time. Met his daddy in the 90s, early O's, something like that. And then met Dave through his dad, and Dave and I became friends. Secondly, Dave was at Oxford, Mississippi last weekend to watch the dogs get pummeled, and that had to be fun.
It was great. It was great. It was wet.
Who do you think the board controller was for?
Well, Purdue man's got his fingers on the pulse.
Absolutely. So tell us about the trip, Dave. You went with Russ, your brother, right?
Yeah, brother Russ was down from Massachusetts. He's got a daughter at Ole Miss, senior there. This was going to be her last home game, so we went over for the.
So you were pulling for Ole Miss.
I love Ole Miss.
Attaboy. Enough with the applause.
The funny thing is, I'm an Alabama fan.
I knew that. Yeah.
And I'm married to a Georgia fan.
Yeah.
My brother's a
Well,
Georgia
Priscilla
fan.
can't be perfect.
She is perfect.
Other than that.
Yeah, but Ole Miss is a great place if you've never been to the Grove.
I've heard
just
it's a
an
fabulous place to see a football
awesome place. But yeah, it was
Not a beautiful day.
not a beautiful day. The Grove was very muddy. It's about 3,000 pop-up tents,
Right.
with little aisleways between them that you slip and slide going from place to place. But eventually went to the game, and it was ugly.
It was ugly for Georgia.
For Georgia
for
fans.
Georgia's perspective. Now, it didn't start out that way because on first drive, Jackson Dart got hit and threw a bad interception, and Georgia got down to the 21 and scored in like 3 or 4 plays.
Georgia scores, and that was it.
That was it. Yeah,
Yeah,
they got
that
a
was
field
it.
goal the rest of the game, right?
But Georgia was, dominated at the line of scrimmage. The Ole Miss defense was in the backfield with Carson Beck all day long.
Oh, he got hammered a few times, yeah.
Carson had his typical jersey identification problems, and
Yeah.
and I love Georgia, so don't misunderstand me. I love Georgia.
Well, to his defense, on the one interception, I think that ball was tipped.
It was
yeah,
tipped.
and it kind of went behind the guy, but an interception is an interception. Nobody was happy. I posted about it on Facebook. It's very rare that we have a perfect weekend where Tech wins and Georgia loses. Hated that KSU lost, but
You almost had a perfect weekend.
almost had a perfect weekend.
Although I'm going to say something here in a little bit. I'm going to wait about 10, 15 minutes before I stick this one on you, Chuck, and I think
Oh,
it's going to
geez.
take away some of your splendor of the weekend.
Boy, I can't wait. That's all I could say. Obviously, that was one of the biggest games of the weekend, and then we also had Tech's upset of Miami.
What a game.
Probably one of the best football games I've seen from a Tech perspective in many, 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 many years.
Correct, because in certain games, we're talking about I'm wearing the Liberty free T-shirt that KSU needed a lot of assistance in that game where Liberty kept. This was a good Tech game. Miami didn't screw up constantly that allowed us to be in the game. We dictated tempo and
they beat them and controlled the line of scrimmage.
Correct,
which is a lot what Mississippi did. They controlled both sides of the ball. The one play that I get very frustrated when I'm watching football, and I got to go upstairs and get away from the TV a minute, and I'll come back down, see what's going on online, and I'll go back down and watch it. And that's the way I am. When Tech had like a 2nd and 5 on the next to last drive when they're trying to run out the clock.
Right.
And I think it was Cooley got the ball, ran around the left side, and he could have darted back in and picked up the first down.
And he did not.
And he stepped out of bounds. And he could have gone another 2 yards, dove, and got the first down. Then Miami would have never gotten the ball back.
Correct.
So those little things aggravate me, and I'm sure Coach Key went and looked at that and made a note of that.
Well, I've been watching something. I heard a commentator say something about it in week 1, and he was talking about a young quarterback, and it was towards the end of the game, and he said, let's just see how many seconds are left on the play clock when he says hut. And the first time there's 14 seconds. And these little things that you don't think are a big thing. Well, with 4 minutes left, you do that 2 or 3 times. That's what gave them the ball back. It's not the problem that you did it with a minute and a half left. It was all the things with 5 and 6 minutes left. So that's a big thing.
Yep. Of course, Tech was hurt. I mean, they had their top 2 running backs were out.
Jamal Haynes.
They played 3 quarterbacks, Pyron and Philo, and of course Haynes King, who
I love Aaron Philo.
King is a stud.
Yes, and so is Aaron Philo. Aaron Philo's.
But when you hear Philo, what's the next word that you want to say?
Gomer.
Beto, thank you. Yeah. Philo Beto.
Who is Philo Beto? I know it's from some movie, right?
Yeah, that's Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood, that's right.
Turn, Clyde.
Yeah.
Philo Beto.
So yeah, he's obviously a better passer than Haynes King, but Haynes King can hold his own. I've seen him throw some balls that were accurate, i.e. the Miami game last year. That's 2 years in a row that Tech upset Miami, and it was kind of poetic justice that Tech kneeled to win that game.
Yeah, it was.
When Mario Cristobal didn't know how to do that last year.
What is it going to take for them to win next year? Because there's going to be Georgia Tech plastered all over their locker room. They are waiting for Tech this coming year.
Well, I don't know if they'll be on the schedule. They're not.
Yeah,
they have
because
a
there's
rotating
so many
schedule now.
Because there's
they?
so many. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. There were other games that were played. I was blown away, and I think Larry proved last week why he's not on the pick list.
Hey, what, you mean this isn't his face?
No.
Oh, look at that.
You won last week, so I figured I'd just put mine in there.
Oh, okay.
But Larry went. You want to say it, Larry? Because I'm going to laugh.
I went 0 for 10.
Larry went 0 for 10.
And that's why I pick games.
No. You know what's so funny about that is I remember one time a guy said, if you get a one-legged chicken, he can scratch more wins than that. It's a 50-50 proposition. It's actually it's actually this much easier to go 0 for 10 as it is 10 for 10. But both of them are nearly impossible.
I've done 10-0 one time in the 20 years we've been doing the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I played 10 numbers on the lottery.
Powerball.
No, not on Powerball. What's the one that happens every 5 minutes?
Keno.
On the Keno, I used their numbers and took the 10 best numbers of the day and went 10 for 10, and I went 0 for 10 on that and won some money. So, sometimes it's good when you go 0 for 10.
All right. So there were some other news around college football. Obviously, Kennesaw State has fired Coach Bohannon, who's been here since the start. Hate to see that. Love Coach Bohannon. He started this program, and A.D. Milton Overton just decided it's time to move in a new direction, and we love the Owls, and we'll go with that. The other games, we talked about, is the best win and the best loss the same game? Is it Georgia Ole Miss? Is it Tech Miami?
No.
There were some other bad losses. Number one for me was Iowa State. because they really blew themselves out of the Big 12 championship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh and Georgia, I think, were among the 2 worst losses.
Yeah, and LSU too.
LSU, yeah, you could say that, but I'm going to give credit for Bama. I'm going to call that a great win, not a big loss. Colorado and Lubbock was a big one. BYU at Utah, because one thing that, unless you dive into that stuff, BYU has now won 2 straight in that series, but I think they lost 14 straight before then. So that is a rivalry that they're not very good at. So pulling a win on the road, but Indiana,
they didn't win by enough.
What a game by Indiana.
Indiana are frauds.
Yeah,
15-10,
you can just go ahead
17-15,
and
right?
have a tall glass of shut up because you've been wrong all year on them.
Who's the best team they played? Who's the best team they played? They've played nobody all year.
Okay, then keep that argument up later when you start telling me how good the Big Ten is. Move on.
Yeah,
I believe me. I am
You
not
can't.
arguing for the Big Ten.
Well, right, but when
I'm
you look-
saying
but when-
Indiana is not that good.
But when you look at the top 5 right now, there's 4 Big Ten teams, and it's like, good Lord, everybody knows that's not. I mean, even Big Ten people know that's not the right way. So it's all good. They'll
But
lose.
if you gave, in all fairness, if you gave Indiana Georgia's schedule,
Well,
how many losses would we be looking at?
we're going to
3,
find
4?
out.
Way too many. And, obviously the one thing that everybody likes to not forget or likes to forget about Georgia is that is the number 1 schedule in America. And what happened to their schedule this past week? It got even tougher because now Ole Miss is a better team. Alabama went and beat up LSU. So, that schedule toughness just keeps getting bigger.
But the strength of schedule changes throughout the year.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, if you would have thought that Tech beat the number 10 team in the country to open the season, you're bad wrong. Florida State should have never been in the top 10. They're a horrible football team.
And I'll throw that into a good win as well. Notre Dame, I think it was 52-3.
52-3.
It's not easy to show up against a team that you're supposed to pummel and pummel them. So
That would be my worst loss of the week. Is
Hey, Dave, after the game, did you go on down to Baton Rouge and catch the second half of the Bama game?
No, back to the hotel room, put on dry clothes, hopped into bed, and watched the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Grove, downtown was a zoo.
I'm sure it was.
It was a zoo.
Yeah.
Did they carry the goalpost past your hotel?
I don't know. I mean, I watched. It wasn't like Alabama, Tennessee when they took the goalpost down and put it in the river, and the next day it was on Google Maps.
all right.
It was on Google Maps.
They got to do 2 things, though. They got to do the same thing KSU did, storm the field twice, because they rushed the field when there were 16 seconds left.
And they got fined $330,000 for
A
it.
lot of cash. That's Dave Poe money.
Stable money. Yeah.
But going back to the wins, regardless of our illustrious intern's opinion, when you're Indiana and you've only beat a team twice in the last 38 years, it's a big win.
It is a big win. What's really funny is it's just so crazy this year. Football is so crazy. Like you said, 4 of the top 5 are the Big Ten.
Correct.
So I'll argue for the Big Ten a little bit. I mean, 'cause you made a point earlier in the season, and agreeable, that the SEC is going to wind up beating each other else. But why can't the same thing be said for the Big Ten?
Because of these unweighted schedules. Well, I mean, like Adam said, here's a team that's 10-0 and hasn't played any of the other 3 teams that are actually considered decent. So
Their best win is what, Nebraska? I mean,
who almost beat Ohio State.
They played Michigan this week, and it was a 5-point game, which is the closest game they've had all year.
But
Correct.
Nebraska went into Ohio State and almost beat them.
They did.
And then the following week, Indiana beat them 59-7. So they're not a bad football team.
I mean, they play Ohio State next.
Correct.
And they'll lose by
Yeah.
lose by 50.
And
I'll take $100 and Indiana
He'll
plus
take that
50
50.
right now. Is that a bet?
No,
No,
I
no.
don't bet money. No,
He just likes
if I
to talk.
bet,
He doesn't
if
like
I
to
bet
gamble.
money, I would take that bet. I don't bet money.
Well, what do you want
Okay,
to
well
bet?
then let's bet
Come
something
do-
else.
I don't.
50
I
point,
don't.
man.
I
Come
don't
do
bet.
come wash my
I don't
car.
bet.
No, you said you don't bet money. So
I said I
just,
do not bet. I don't
Period.
bet.
Okay.
Period.
Then don't bring betting up.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a simple way to
Hey,
do
that
it.
seems easy.
I didn't bring betting up. I just
Actually,
said
you did.
Yes, you
I did not. I said
Moving on,
my
moving on.
exact
We don't-
words
everybody
were
can hear it.
Indiana would lose to Ohio State by 50.
Okay.
And we know that's not the case.
That is what I said.
All right. Let's get into some commercials before we beat each other up. This is going to be a fun show.
Adam?
There's a lot of places to get your oil changed in the Kennesaw area, but if you're looking for a personal experience, then stop in at Castro Kennesaw Express Loop or Lost Mountain Express Loop. We'll always do our best to get you in and out quickly, safely, and without a whole lot of fuss. We're a true owner-operated business, and you'll find Brian under a car or hood at one of the shops. We offer experienced, knowledgeable technicians and the latest computer software to help you maintain your new car warranty and keep your pride and joy running for the next 100,000 miles. We proudly offer Castro products.
That's the first time I never did that.
I know. I was
had
watching.
a mouthful of Gatorade.
I was watching you drink that Gatorade, and I'm thinking, there's no way he's going to be able to make it to the microphone in
I
time.
didn't make it. That's funny.
Joshua Smith and his wife Tammy are both graduates of Kennesaw State College. He's been practicing law for 24 years, specializing in sports and entertainment law, while continuing in criminal defense, civil litigation, juvenile, and personal injury law. And he's ready to represent you all the way from your small town all the way to the Supreme Court and any appellate court in between. With all the new rules regarding NIL and cash payments to athletes, they are placing a new emphasis on Kennesaw State University student athletics to help our student athletes better navigate some of the bigger issues that have tripped up so many. Give them a call tomorrow at 706-217-2095.
Where can you reach Joshua?
That'd be at 706-217-2095.
And thank you, Joshua Smith and Brian Bistro, for being sponsors of Three Guys Who Love Sports right here at Miller's Afternoon.
And thank you to all of the advertising gurus in the late 80s who always said the commercial, who always said the phone
Repeated
number
the phone
twice.
number.
Because we are living, loving.
There are
on
still
that.
some that do it way more than that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. So the big news from last night, college football-wise, is the playoff rankings.
Rankings?
Look at Dave's pulling them up, aren't you, Dave?
Playoffs?
All right. Playoffs, exactly. So were you shocked to see Georgia out of the top 12?
No.
Well, actually, they weren't out of the top 12. They were
were
number
12.
but they're bumped to 13.
Okay, first off, should I answer your question or explain it to the whole world?
Yes.
So let me just explain this to the whole world. When everybody says, well, they're 12th and they get bumped to 13th, that's not how it works. That's if everybody who is supposed to win wins a championship game. The second K-State upsets BYU, all of those things are gone. Now you're not getting a 10 or an 11 team into that. And if somebody comes up and slaps Miami, and then you're not getting another team in that. So just because you're ranked in the top 11 does not mean you're going to the final 12. You have to have those conference championship games
It's
first.
just the second week.
That's
of
where you're seated actually
Yeah.
versus where
Yeah.
you're ranked.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, you could be ranked like they are. They're ranked 12th, and you go, well, Boise gets the 12th spot, so you're not.
Boise wins the conference and
The Big
Georgia
West
gets
or whatever it is.
Mountain West.
Correct. But when K-State beats BYU, then Tennessee isn't making it either.
K-State is
even
not
if-
playing
And if
BYU in
if
the Big
Louisville,
12 championship.
We've listened to that mouth of yours all year long about all these teams, and you've been wrong on most of them. Louisville, you told us was going to dominate. Now, if Louisville does come back and actually beat Miami once again, now the number 10 team isn't going to make it because somebody else took that spot. So it's a lot of fun ready to
Then
happen.
you look at this: is you got a Georgia team that hypothetically is bumped, right?
Correct?
That at one point played a top 10 ranked Clemson team, and beat them straight up.
Yep.
Goes to Texas,
Most
beats
impressive win
Texas,
of
most
the
impressive of
season
the season,
for any team.
and they're out.
I would have said that until this week.
And what would you say?
Mississippi.
You would say a Mississippi win at home in the rain is more impressive than the one-loss juggernaut of Texas. The world does not agree with you, Mr. Birch.
It's been a strange year of college football.
has been a very
it's like
strange year.
This week,
But
I'm the
I
best
still
team
think
in
it's
the
a very
country,
game.
and the following week I look like it's our first scrimmage, and it's not just Georgia. It's
No.
Alabama, it's Georgia, it's LSU, it's Ole Miss,
It's South Carolina.
Kentucky. I mean, it's the SEC. It's the greatest conference in the country.
So let me ask you this, Chuck. Going back to what I wanted to talk to you earlier about.
This is what you're going to tell me 10 minutes ago?
This is me bringing you down.
Again?
Who I'm sorry, I'm so good at it. Who does
You think you're so
Georgia
good at it.
No, I seem like I'm pretty good at it.
You think you're good at it.
Who does Georgia Tech's win help the most?
Who does Georgia Tech win over Miami help the most? Probably an SEC team.
Go Dogs.
Probably,
it really does.
Probably an SEC
At
team.
this point in time, when you're looking at that and saying they're the number 12 team, there's no way that win does not help them. And let me ask you guys this. If Miami loses an ACC championship game, they get an automatic bid?
If they're the champions. No, they can't be because they'd have to be. It's probably going to be SMU, right?
Yeah, it'd be
If SMU beats
SMU.
Clemson, SMU would get the championship.
Well, I'm just
So
saying.
they'd be the 3 or the 4 seed.
Yeah, whoever the ACC champion would be, actually, Boise State would become a top 4 seed in that scenario.
Yeah.
No, Boise
because they
State-
would probably drop below.
Yeah,
SMU would
the
be ahead of
ACC
them in the
champion would
rankings.
be below Boise State in the rankings.
Yeah.
Well, but if SMU wins, they'll go ahead because they'll be beating a team that's ranked ahead. They have these things stacked. These guys are all mathematicians. When they stack it out like this,
I thought they were like athletic directors.
No,
and stuff.
there's only one way that you could ever have 4 Big Ten teams in the top 5 right now, and that's because this one's going to play this one, and when they lose, we'll kick them back behind these other people, and this one's going to play, and the same thing would happen there. If SMU beats Miami, they get that nod. But my question for you, SMU beats Miami. Do both of them go to the Final 12 or just the winner?
No, I don't think so.
I think it depends on where SMU is ranked going into that game and how badly they beat Miami.
Who does SMU have left?
That's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head.
I can tell you pretty quick. SMU, not a lot going on.
SMU they got Boston College, Virginia,
And they're favored
Cal.
by 17 against Boston College.
Yeah, so Boston College, Virginia, and Cal. Most people have them penciled in to play in Miami.
Yeah.
But because Miami lost, now all of a sudden, when Miami was undefeated, if a one-loss SMU team beats an undefeated Miami team in that ACC championship game, Miami's still getting an at-large bid.
Possibly.
No, definitely. But now, does a 2-loss Miami get a nod ahead of one of these other teams?
I don't even know that Miami's going to make the ACC championship game anymore, because based on it's their tiebreaker with Clemson, and I don't know what the ACC tiebreaker looks like.
And what about BYU? Are they in the exact same situation? If BYU loses a championship game, they're undefeated going into the
They're
championship.
still in.
If they're undefeated going into it.
Yes.
But if they were to lose a game between now and then.
Well, their schedule is so bad that they would be out of the top 12. Their remaining schedule is the teams left on their schedule is
let's look-
Kansas.
Let's look at the
Arizona State
let's look
and
at the
Houston.
12-team playoff from a 30,000 foot perspective. Let's start with Boise State. We think they're going to get in, right?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Probably, but just keep in mind, they got to win the rest of their games. The
Yep.
second they don't win all their games, they're done. Forget about
But
it.
Boise State or somebody out of the Power 4 are going to get in.
Yeah,
Somebody's
somebody
gonna-
out of the group of 5.
Yeah,
it
so
has to get
whether-
in.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's
Correct.
Boise State or whoever.
Correct.
Okay. So we know they're in, or one of those teams are in. All right. Is Notre Dame going to get in?
I believe so.
Yes.
Notre Dame with one loss to a pitiful University of Northern Illinois at home, but they're in, right?
Yes.
All right. Oregon's in, whether they win or lose.
Oregon's in no matter what.
All right. How about Ohio State?
Ohio State is in. I say no matter what, but
No.
if they lose to Indiana this
Yeah,
week,
They won't.
lose to Indiana. Ohio
They won't
State's
lose
out.
to Indiana.
and we agree with you, but
But they'll only have 2 losses too.
They'll only have 2 losses, but
I would put 2-loss Ohio State in
Okay. All right.
because their losses would be to Oregon and Indiana.
Dave,
Which
you
would be
you watch,
two top
watch
5
much Big
teams.
Ten football? Obviously not, since you think the SEC is the best conference in this
They are the best
country.
conference.
he doesn't think that. He knows that, Chuck.
That's right.
A 2-loss Ohio State would get in because their losses would be Oregon and Indiana, who at this point are both top 5 teams.
Would both be undefeated and
Yes.
playing. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Who is a shoe-in in the SEC? Is anybody a shoe-in from the SEC?
Yeah, Texas. Texas at this point, I think, is a shoo-in.
no, I don't think so. If Texas A&M beats
Is it-
Texas in that last game,
Is this Mr. 0 for 10?
if Texas
but they're not a shoo-in.
No. Once again, all these teams have to still keep winning. If Texas lays a dud at Arkansas this week and then loses a game, well, yeah, I mean, it's.
But it comes down to that last game. Whoever wins Texas A&M has one loss in the SEC. Then you have, if Georgia wins, then you have 6 2-loss SEC games. And who goes?
Not Georgia.
Currently, if you look at
Maybe,
if you
No,
look,
if you
look
have
at a lot of
if you
things,
have a
they've got 5 right now.
if you have a 6-way tie for the SEC, the people that go based on the simulator that I ran earlier today, it would be Alabama LSU in the SEC title game.
No. Either
LSU can't
Texas
play.
A&M or Texas is going.
We're just
'Cause
talking about the
they-
final 12, not the championship.
I'm talking about in the SEC. If you have a 6-way tie for first place in
No.
the SEC,
It's second place. It's not first place. No, because first place is going to be either Texas or Texas A&M with one loss. That's first place in
If
the
they
SEC.
win out till they play each other.
Sure, Tennessee still has one loss, so there's all sorts of things still to
Now,
happen.
see if Georgia wins.
Georgia-
That's what I'm saying.
if Georgia wins out.
If Tennessee wins, then Tennessee and whoever wins.
If
Georgia
Texas.
needs a lot of help to make the SEC championship game at this point.
correct, but I don't
they
think- I don't think
they
they
don't
want
have
to.
the tiebreakers.
I don't think they want to. I
That's
think
fair.
I think you just
That's
want to
fair.
win. I think
Yeah.
you want to win out, and then it'll be first round of the playoffs. Bulldogs at Penn State.
Wow. What do you
Say a
think?
prayer, Penn
What do
State,
you think about
yeah.
what they said last night? Alabama at Indiana. That would be a wild game.
but-
All those games they talked about it last night on the show. All the Southern teams going up north and playing in the snow. I think that would just be fantastic for football.
And it would be before the weekend, and then after the weekend, everybody goes, "Damn it! How are we gonna beat them SEC teams? We even got them in the snow and couldn't do nothing with them."
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I think 4 SEC teams will get in. I don't think any more. I think 4.
Currently, on most people's list,
There's 4.
they have 5 right now.
Yeah, they
You have
didn't have 4 last night.
Alabama and Indiana.
They didn't have 4 last night. 5 last night.
You've got Georgia at Penn State, Alabama at Indiana, and right now you got Ole
They
Miss.
didn't have
at-
Georgia at Penn State last night. Georgia's out.
If you have
after
5,
once again, you're counting all these things. Everybody's got to, there's at least 3 or 4 teams that have to lose.
No, you said most
If you
people
have-
have them in, they don't.
if you
I
have
looked at
5
all the picks from ESPN,
Well,
and 12 of the 14 did not even have Georgia in the playoffs.
and that's fine, Chuck. But the thing that I'm showing you right now takes into consideration that those teams have to lose. Not all those Big Ten teams are going undefeated
but
or
that's
having
not
one
the same
loss.
12 they showed last night.
if you
No,
have
it
5,
takes it into
if you have 5
perspective.
SEC teams, you probably get 3 Big Ten teams.
Yeah, but I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be 4
I
of
think
each.
it would be 4-4.
Yeah.
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 I think going back, so 4 Big Ten, 4 SEC, that leaves 4 for the rest, and those 4 are Notre Dame, Boise, and the 2 conference champions.
Yes.
Big 12 and
ACC.
And the
ACC.
ACC. Yeah. I mean, I think we're in agreement about that. I think we're in disagreement about who the 4 are going to be.
And then-
I mean, the 4 in the Big 10 are pretty much set, right?
Unless
something crazy happens.
well, unless
it's
if
Penn State, Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon.
if Indiana, just gets shredded, something like that, then all of a sudden you're taking a number 5 team. How far? They just lost by 40. How far do they drop? I don't know. It's gonna be fun.
Will you give me Indiana and 40 right now?
I want Indiana in 50.
Yeah.
Indiana can score. Are they this? Are they that? No, but man, it's the most exciting team they've had in Southern Indiana in a long time.
And again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about how much the strength of schedule changes during the year. Because if you'd have saw Indiana on your schedule in August, you say, well, there's a W. And that's not the case anymore.
Right, but Georgia had the toughest schedule before the season started, and they clearly still have it. So, some things are different when it, new math, old math.
Yeah. Okay. Dave, what are you shaking your head at?
I just listened to this conversation. This is amazing.
So what do you think?
Do you like the 12-team playoff?
With the exception of conference champions getting the automatic buys.
Yep.
I think that's not right because your conference may not be good.
Correct.
And why should you get a bye week?
And that's what we're talking about, like the BYU.
Well, then you have to go to 16, and that makes it more complicated.
Well, but
Why don't you give the top 4 teams a bye?
Top ranked. Once again, does BYU deserve a bye? If we don't think they're one of the top 4 teams,
if they're undefeated, they deserve a bye. If BYU wins the Big 12 championship,
there are 4 teams
undefeated,
100%,
they deserve a bye.
Florida State was undefeated last year.
Yes.
It didn't work out so well.
Didn't make the 14 playoff.
No.
Plays Georgia, gets humiliated.
Sure.
Still on that same slide.
So here we are the following year, different scale, but we're talking about doing the same thing.
BYU has beat ranked teams this year.
Yeah, BYU's not a great team, but once again, I wasn't arguing against BYU. Any conference champion who's undefeated goes in this scenario.
Yes.
The question is when I said something to Chuck and he reluctantly agreed with me last week about that Ohio State Penn State game, that those teams looked awful. There didn't look like anything that was so. Once again, if that game was awful and those are 2 of your top 5 teams, if Indiana does get spanked, what am I supposed to think about them, knowing that I wasn't impressed with Ohio State any of these other times? So there's a lot of moving parts still. A lot of moving parts.
There are, and it's what makes college football great. I want to continue this conversation a little bit, but let's go ahead and get our Brain Train commercial. What is that, Robert?
Hey, it's Melissa again with Brain Train Centers. Did you know March is Brain Injury Awareness Month? At Brain Train Centers, we are dedicated to helping anyone who has suffered from a concussion or brain injury. You may not even realize you have been affected by a brain injury because maybe you didn't hit your head. You can injure your brain from a jolt, a fall, or even whiplash. Some symptoms you may experience are memory decline, focus issues, or even bad moods. We could help you heal your brain. All you have to do is come in for a brain assessment at one of our locations and you could see how your brain is functioning. This is your first step to taking back control of your brain's health. Just give us a call or text us at 470-291-2778, or for more information, visit braintraincentersinc.com.
And thank you, Meg and Melissa, for being sponsors of 3 Guys Who Love Sports. Dave, you've taken a lot of notes over there to not be saying so much. What are you writing down over there?
Just taking this all in. You have a lot to think about on this show.
Yeah. That's why we had you on here, the brains of the outfit.
No.
Yeah, some big games. Once again, Penn State, Indiana, not a lot there, but combined they're 18-1. And they're not getting showed the door for being 18-1. But man, when they host those games and those hungry SEC teams come up, man, I'm going to be sitting on a couch just like Dave.
We'll see. I still think who did Michigan beat last year for the championship?
They beat Washington.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
So there's no SEC team in the championship game last year. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. All right.
Because Michigan beat Bama.
Bama to beat Washington, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So bleed your SEC all you want, and we'll talk about it again in a month. Yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about it next week.
That's revenge.
We will.
That's
Pretty
revenge.
true,
We
yeah.
stole your
Then we might text in between shows to talk about it just a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's hard to yell at you through text.
Oh, that's not true. I love it. But no, this is as good as you could possibly want. Once again, Georgia fan, Georgia looks like a train wreck. Like I was telling you, the AI thing with Kirby Smart, he's cussing a lot, so I can't really paraphrase too much. But I think he starts
calling his players stupid.
No, he called him an idiot. And that was real.
He called him stupid second.
Oh, well, he called him. Yeah, he called him an idiot, and he's been trying to backtrack out of that.
And then he said he was stupid.
At the end of the day,
To be fair, he's right.
Oh no, he knew he was right to begin with. But this is what you want. They're in it, but they gotta win. You've got to win the last few games to have a chance.
They better watch out for Tech. Tech's a good football team, and if Miami's got a good defense and they ran wide on Miami, Do the same thing on Georgia because Mississippi.
Miami's been giving up 40 a game to everybody in the ACC.
And they've been scoring 48 a game. And
Correct, but you just said they had a good defense.
They did. That's what they said on the show Saturday.
I'm just looking at their scores. They give up 40 a game. I don't think it's a very good defense.
I'll have to go check that.
348 yards of total offense. I mean, Miami did.
Well, I know they've been giving up 87 yards a game on defense on rushing the ball, and Tech got 271.
Tech was possessed.
Yeah,
They look good.
they did. And Georgia better watch out for them. I don't imagine. I can't imagine it being a blowout like it has in the years past. Of course, Tech played them pretty well last year. 87 yards of defense of rushing yards is not bad for a defensive team.
No, but once again, they're playing Florida State, Duke, and Cal. So I mean, it's a matter of perspective. Going backwards, they've given up 28, 31, 14, 45, 38, and 34. Those are in their last 6 games.
That didn't average 40. If you'll add those up again, that doesn't average 40.
Okay, Chuck. They're a juggernaut of a defense, Chuck.
They're not giving up 40 points a game.
Let's just pick the games.
No. I want Chuck to tell me more about this juggernaut of a defense that.
I don't believe I ever used the word juggernaut. I said they gave up 87 yards rushing on defense.
No, you kept telling me how good they were, and I've been telling you that they're not good for beating up bad teams.
I hate to tell you, Robert, you're not right about everything. Did you know that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But you're not right on this, and you already know that.
No, I don't.
So, Dave, what do you think about Clemson and Pittsburgh?
We're not there yet.
We're far from there, but thanks.
Yeah, far from there.
Yeah. All right.
Do you think this thing's getting leveled up across the playing field?
I think NIL has done it.
You think so?
I think,
'Cause you don't see
the portal has done it.
You're not really seeing the dominant monster like the Georgia or the Alabama or the Iowa State
or even in the day Florida State.
Well, Florida State.
Yeah, I mean, I think the portal has done that to college football, because if I'm not happy, if I'm not playing, I'm going to go somewhere where I can play, and that may be where Indiana's gotten there, is because the non-Power 5 has become like a breeding ground for all these.
They took all the JMU. They took all of Signetti's JMU players last year.
So all these people that aren't playing at the lower levels are going to move up. It's just like we got a kid from Puda Barden.
Puda Walker?
Puda Walker. Yeah, that said he's heading out, and he's got offers from BYU, from who else?
There's Baylor, UCF.
Yeah.
Big teams.
So if you want to play for KSU, or do you want to play for Baylor or BYU? I mean, it's...
Well, you had in the day Saban era teams, Kirby too, but Saban could go in a guy's household and say, "Hey, listen, we want you to come to Alabama. You're not going to play. You're not going to play the first 2 years.
But man, you're going to be behind.
But day 3, you're going to be on the biggest stage there is.
Correct.
And if your goal is to make the pros, this is your opportunity.
Absolutely.
Now with NIL, the portal, it's like, I don't like something, I can leave. Look at Daniels from Georgia. He's at 4 schools?
BJ, was that his name?
Quarterback?
BJ Daniels, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 5 schools.
It was JT Daniels.
JT Daniels.
He
That's what it
started
was.
at USC. He went USC, Georgia, West Virginia,
Rice.
And then
He
somewhere
ended
else.
at Rice.
He went to
West
Washington.
Coast.
was it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No,
Washington.
he
or
started.
Washington
He
State, something
started.
like that.
I think it was 4. It was USC,
There's a lot
Georgia,
of
West
people that
Virginia.
move around. But
Rice.
to win juggernaut championships the way Saban did, those days are gone because this playoff is so big.
That's why Saban's no longer in the game.
I said when NIL happened, I said this is what will cause him to retire.
Well, but regardless of the NIL aspect that he didn't want to deal with, having to win this many games, you used to have to show up and you win 2 games. Win 2 games, you hold up a trophy. Now, man, you better win your championship game, and then you're still going to have to win 3 more. And if you don't win that, it's a lot of games to win.
But it took the playoffs take some of the pressure off too, because it used to, prior to the 12-game thing.
Absolutely, you had to have
if you
one
lost
loss
the
or
game,
undefeated.
the season's over.
Now, let me ask you this, and Robert, I will give you credit for this. I really didn't think I was going to like the 12-team playoff, because you remember when we were at 4 teams, And I said, I don't like it. But, man, I've never seen so much conversation. I didn't think it could get any more heated about college football, but it certainly has.
It's beautiful. And, the one thing that we're sitting here talking about where we're like, clearly Big Ten gets 4, SEC gets 4, 5-3, however. Guess what? Somebody might not feel that way about Miami. And when Miami gets added after they lose the chance, to SMU, wow. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
I know Feinbaum went off today. He said it was horrible last night. Did you see that?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
It's crazy. It makes football so much fun. I talked to Rick Lambert yesterday. Anybody Limpert? Yeah. And he said to tell everybody, hey, he's loving Vegas. He moved out to Vegas. Yeah, David, that's a good point. I mean, gone are the days of Bobby Bowden. Now, you're an FSU fan too, right?
Yeah. My
So-
dad went to high school and college with Bobby Bowden.
So what's going to happen down there?
Dag nabbit.
I don't know. I don't know. It's ugly right now, but I think just give him time. I think he's a good coach.
Norvell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good coach.
He was undefeated this.
He was. Yeah.
time
I mean, look
last
at last year. This.
But I can't. What are they? 1-9.
1-9. Yeah.
Wow. Who'd have thought that undefeated team would go 1-10 in their next however many, get snubbed on making the final four, and then 1-10. Nobody saw that.
Nobody.
Even haters didn't see that.
Yeah. I've got a friend that used to bet FSU, and every weekend he would take FSU in the points or give up the points, and he's given up totally on FSU. It's nuts.
He's probably smart at this point.
He probably is. I can't wait to see what happens. The more and more I look at it, the more I'm going to like this home game on the 20th of December. Is that when it is?
20th and 21st. There'll be 2 games on the Friday and 2 games on the Saturday. And, once again, you talk about how big the stage is. Alabama at Indiana, Georgia at Penn State. Good Lord. You talk, these are the biggest games in the history of the sport, and it's just a playoff game to get you there.
And Georgia played a big game against Penn State, the Sugar Bowl?
1982.
1982, yeah. But that was in New Orleans. At Penn State, I held a lot more credit to home stadiums till this Alabama LSU game the other night when Brian Kelly was 13-0 at home at night in LSU, and Milroe just ran all over them.
They said that stat way too many times. You knew they were going to lose. 13-0, 13-0, 13. Okay, you jinxed that one.
Well, Penn State wasn't their top win against Southern Cal? It was like a 5-loss team.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's when it comes down to.
And they're ranked what, number 5?
4. They're number 4 right now. They have who have they beat? They've beat West Virginia, Bowling Green, Kent State, Illinois, UCLA, USC, Wisconsin, and Washington.
Washington's probably their toughest opponent, right?
No, it'd be Illinois.
It'd be Illinois or USC, but even so, I mean, like you said, there's nobody there. And then what do they have left? They have Purdue, Minnesota, Maryland. So, pencil them in for, 1 loss. Whether they're that good or not, we'll find out in the 12-team playoff.
Minnesota's not a bad football team, though. They're what, 5-4 or 6-3, something
6-4.
Are they?
Yeah.
Minnesota's a good football team.
They beat Rutgers.
Is that game at? No, I think Rutgers beat Minnesota. Is that at Minnesota?
I fell
It's at
asleep.
Minnesota.
Yeah. The Golden Gophers in the snow. Now, Oregon plays at Wisconsin this week, right? I think that's their game.
Correct.
Yeah, that should be fun. Wisconsin plays well at home, but Alabama took care of them earlier in the year, and I'm expecting Oregon to do the same. Oregon still was the best-looking team to me if you look at the eye test.
Yeah.
No, they're good. And once again, I don't think they check every box the way an SEC or even an Ohio State would check every box.
Or a Boise State.
No, I think they probably check okay versus Boise State. But at the end of the day,
only beat them by 6.
They've got the best quarterback, and with his completion percentage, they're going to be in just about every game.
All right, let's get our last commercial. American Axis.
What do you want to ask me?
Anything you'll answer.
I'll answer things you don't ask me. Tired of going to the same old places for the same old thing? American Access has your solution. Whether you're looking for something new to do before or after the game, the most memorable workouting ever, or just wanting to take something else off your bucket list, American Access in their 3.5 Atlanta locations in Marietta, Tucker, downtown at the Works, and the uber cool new mobile experience that can be set up wherever you want. Keep an eye out for them at upcoming festivals and events, including some Falcons games. Look them up tomorrow at American Access or give them a call at 678-763-3635.
How can you reach Dan Fisher?
You can call them at 678-763-3635 to schedule your next adventure.
Thank you, Dan, for being a sponsor of the Three Guys Who Love Sports. Happy to be here today with Robert and Adam and 0-10 Lex and son Larry and my good friend Dave Poe. Dave, let's make some picks. Give you a chance to make some picks.
We got 10 games in 15 minutes. That seems perfect.
Yeah, that does.
I'm going to try and do better than Larry this week.
That wouldn't be much. You could throw darts.
That would be pretty easy.
All right, Clemson laying 10 at Pittsburgh.
That's a lot of points for this Clemson team, but boy, does Pittsburgh look like garbage. I'll take Clemson.
Robert takes
I'll take Clemson, but, Pittsburgh throws the ball about 50% of the time, and their leading receiver's out.
Yeah, Pittsburgh killed me. I had them minus 7.5 against Virginia this weekend. No bueno. 4-6 this week, Robert. I went 8-2, 8-2, 8-2, 5-5, 5-5, 4-6, 4-6. So it's all
we're hoping
balances
it's
out.
not a 3-7, 3-7.
Yeah, it does. I'm not sure. Adam, how about you?
I think this is an interesting game. Pat Narduzzi has this Pittsburgh team humming. They haven't looked particularly great recently. Holstein, I think Holstein was out either. I think he's been out the last couple weeks. Kate Klubnik in this Clemson offense, recovering from the loss to Louisville earlier. I'm going to go with Clemson.
All right, it's a clean sweep. We saw what happened to that on Saturday.
That's never good.
Yeah,
When
pick
everybody
Pittsburgh.
on game day
bet
took
on
Miami.
Bet on Pittsburgh.
Yep. All right,
Pittsburgh is dropped completely out of the top 25. How
Yes,
about that?
they have.
Utah plus 10 at Colorado. Is Coach Prime finally going to make the playoffs?
I haven't called Colorado. I mean, he shows up. You have you took a 1-win team, had a 1-win season, and then next year 4 wins. Now it's like they're really controlling their own destiny. I was listening to something this morning. They're talking about making him the coach of the Cowboys. See how that works out?
What do you think about him
Please.
coming to FSU?
Please don't let that happen.
Hey,
you
all
like
I got,
that?
No.
all I can tell you is
it'd
one
be a
thing.
good hire.
Yeah.
Jer might just be the guy who makes that happen.
Please don't let Deion be the coach of the Cowboys.
There's a lot of teams you could
I
say
would,
that about.
I
You
would,
think, no,
I
my
would
coaching
burn
staff,
my
but-
I would burn my CD Lamb jersey and
Robert,
become a Ravens
who do
fan.
you got, Colorado or Utah?
Colorado's looking tough. Utah barely lost at home, but give me the Buffaloes. And once again, they don't have a lot of opportunity to move up. But talking about what about this, what about that? If they win out, there's a decent chance they're going to play
For the Big
For the
12
championship.
championship. Yeah. All right, I'm going to take Utah plus the points. Adam?
This is a Utah team that I think they're down to their 4th string quarterback this year. Their 3rd string got hurt last week. They're 4-4 on the year. Deion's got this Colorado team playing pretty well. I'm going to take Colorado.
Boston College.
As big a hater as I am.
Boston College plus 17 at SMU.
SMU looks good. Give me SMU. SMU's thinking they have an opportunity to do what nobody expected before the season started.
Boston College hasn't played bad all year. They had a really good game at Missouri, who I think Missouri's still in the top 25, aren't they? Like 23
They are.
or something
They're
like that.
22.
Yeah, but
something.
SMU scores a lot of points. I'm going to go SMU.
17's tempting, but SMU.
So Tommy Castellanos, the Boston College quarterback, just entered the portal within the last week. He was benched last week. I'm going to take SMU. Preston Stone, the backup quarterback for Cason Jennings. This is a good SMU team.
Let me ask you guys this question. Why would you move to the portal during the season? You can't get, it's not like Georgia can go, hey, we'll take him. Here's our new quarterback for the stretch run. I just don't understand why you're not going to play here anymore, so you just want to get that clean break.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're pissed off at the coach.
Clearly.
Show it.
Yeah. Or the AD.
Or
maybe.
yeah, well, yes, yeah. All right, Missouri plus 11.5 at South Carolina. South Carolina is a team that's kind of been Jekyll and Hyde this year.
When they're healthy, they're good.
Yep, when they're healthy, they're good. I'm going to go with the Gamecocks.
You know, you look at when they were bad and they play. You know, they lost 3 teams. Who did they lose to? LSU,
Alabama.
Mississippi, and Alabama.
Yeah.
Well, you know, most people lose to those 3 teams.
Yeah.
Give me them Cocks.
South Carolina played Vanderbilt really strong, you know, and I think they'll show up and take South Carolina.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at that game. I thought Vandy would play him a better ball game than what they did. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, South Carolina took Texas A&M behind the woodshed the week before and beat them by 24. So I mean, it's a good team.
That crazy SEC.
There's a really weird tiebreaker scenario in the SEC where if Missouri beats South Carolina and the rest of the favorites win the rest of the year, LSU would play the winner of Texas A&M. And I really want that to happen because that would be extremely funny considering how bad people have said this LSU team is.
Wouldn't that be funny if LSU made the team? Now, that would knock out another SEC team.
Once again, anybody who wins that's not supposed to win is kicking the 12 team out,
So,
kicking the 11 team out, kicking the 10
For
team
the
out.
memes, I'm going to take Missouri.
All right.
He said for the memes, but what
Right.
he really meant was for the chaos.
And
Yes.
I got that on my shirt.
Hey,
Yeah.
what do you know?
Yeah. All right. The biggest game of the weekend, obviously, is over in Athens, about 90 miles from here. The Volunteers coming to town, and they're getting 10 points.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take all them points, Chuck.
I'm going to.
I know.
Yeah. if that quarterback's playing,
Nico Iamaleava.
I'm taking the 10. Yeah.
Just know that you're taking points to begin with, and Timmy, as my buddy likes to call Mr. Beck, hey, it looks like Timmy. You know, Timmy's going to spot you another 10 points at least.
Yeah.
Dogs are going to win. Dogs are up against it. You know, if they don't win, you know, obviously they're out. And quarterback. You know, what do you want to know? It's the one thing that Kirby didn't get right before the 2 natties. And we used to talk about, you know, man, he can build a heck of a roster. He just can't get that one position right. And he's almost there again.
Is he gonna? They're gonna cover the 10.
I'm going to say so.
Okay.
It's probably not a wise bet.
Adam,
If I had a friend tell me
that's amazing.
last week.
I mean, that you
I
had-
know.
that you had a friend.
I had a friend tell me last week that this Tennessee team would lose to Indiana, which is entirely not true. But so in order to prove him wrong, if Tennessee wins, my point is proven. Or if Georgia wins, then it leads to the weird tiebreaker scenario, and that would make me happy. So Chuck, I'm very sorry about this, but I'm going to take Georgia because I want the weird tiebreaker scenario.
Because you want
Dave, how about
I
you?
want
buddy?
chaos.
I'm going to go with Georgia. I think it's every other week Georgia plays well. I think it's been long enough. The shell shock of Carson Beck should have worn off from the Oxford visit. So,
But I mean, he
Georgia
just
takes
looks
it.
so bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
He
you know,
did.
it's like
and
his
then he's smiling
receivers-
about it on the sidelines.
His receivers are dropping balls. I know he doesn't have McConkey or Bowers, but
Absolutely.
but I mean, some of these other guys, the ball's right in their chest and they're dropping the ball.
And he
You know,
also
Arian
fairness-
Smith made some catches.
and
Dylan Bell.
He's also got Bobo who keeps going pass. Well, no, run. You're
They-
Georgia. Run.
Wait a
run,
minute.
then
Wait a
pass.
minute. Do you know how many times they ran the ball against Ole Miss?
It wasn't when they were supposed to.
They ran the ball 32 times against Ole Miss. They averaged 1.9 yards per carry.
I understand. It's never when they're supposed to.
Yep. All right. You know, we've talked a lot about college football. We didn't even say anything about the Falcons blowing it to
Cowboys are
New Orleans.
bad.
Cowboys are horrible.
Cowboys bad.
But we got
Come on, Dion.
We got 5 teams with
No.
5 games, and we got to pick.
Come on,
No.
man. I am
Please.
rooting for that.
So Washington
Please.
plus 3.5 at Philadelphia.
What a fun game.
Should be fun.
Everything about this game tells you should take the rookie plus 3.5 points. I'll take the Eagles.
I'm going to take the rookie plus 3.5 points.
That's what they want us to think.
Yeah.
4-1 record against Washington in the last 5 meetings. I got to take Philadelphia.
All right.
Go Jay.
Saquon Barkley,
be
before beating the Cowboys, was 0-10 all time against the Cowboys. He won last week and beat the Cowboys. He's now 1-10 all time against the Cowboys. That has very little to do with this game. But I like Jaden Daniels. He's on my fantasy team. I need him to do well, so I'm going to pick Washington because I never picked the Eagles.
Baltimore minus 3.5 at Pittsburgh. I think I saw that might be some snow in Pittsburgh.
Got to go Baltimore on this. They're looking better in Pittsburgh. Wilson can throw it around a little bit. They're taking refuge from the Jets because Mike Williams never worked out there. But I still don't see it as being enough. And I'm really afraid at what the rest of the world's going to do with King Henry come playoff time. This is a scary team.
He's scored a touchdown in every game so far, hasn't he?
Something like that. But
Yeah.
but the same way we make fun of hockey and basketball and go playoff basketball is different than regular season basketball. Man, when it's 15 minutes left in the first quarter, handoff left, handoff right. I don't know how anybody's going to deal with it.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I like them at home. Plus, I think Baltimore by a field goal, but I'm going to take
That
the
hook.
points.
That
Yeah.
hook's a good one.
Yep. All right, Dave.
I got Baltimore. They're leading the NFL in scoring and rushing yards, and they're number 3 in passing. They're looking good. I got Baltimore.
That's almost impossible to be leading the league in both rushing and passing.
I know it. And then, yet they still lose games they shouldn't lose.
Yes,
yeah.
they do.
Yeah. Adam?
A lot of people thought that that Denver had
We got 3 games left
Denver
to
had
pick.
the best defense in the NFL. Baltimore blew them out. Baltimore's going to blow out Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Denver's got nothing, though, at the end of the day. They do
Denver
have a good defense.
Statistically, they had the best defense in the NFL, and
But when you
Baltimore
have a
blew 'em out.
horrible offense, it puts your defense at risk.
Seattle plus 6.5 at San Francisco.
Give me CMC.
CMC is
He's
back.
back this
He's
week.
back.
That was a decent
He was
game.
back last week, and he had a decent week.
Yeah,
And,
that was a fun game. That really was not a bad game to watch.
This is a really fun game for the standings. Once again, whenever you're in these types of games, throw the record out because these guys play each other all the dang time, and you're looking at a 4-5 Seahawks versus a 5-4. This is make it or break it for them.
A 4-4 San Francisco team without C-Mac. And now he's back 1-0 with him.
Correct, but
Yeah.
5-4. If they lose this game, they're 4-6. San Francisco's 6-4.
Yeah.
It's already over for them.
I'll take San Fran
I
laying the
got
points.
I got San Fran also. McCaffrey's back. I love watching this guy play. I mean,
He's
he was
unbelievable.
He's a stud.
19 touches for 107 yards.
Adam, how about you?
I love Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's one of my favorite quarterbacks. I'll go San Fran.
Straight San Fran across the board. 2 more games. Biggest game of the week. Kansas City at Buffalo. That's going to be fun.
Did you see that the CBS they're going live, and
they only do the championship games and the Super Bowl.
They only do it for the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, and they're doing it for this one. So, yeah, huge game. Give me the Bills. I'm a Bills lover anyway. Bills look good. Still can't figure out how Kansas City wins all these dang games.
Boy, what a game Sunday when they just got the field goal blocked. Yeah, they should
They
have
come
lost
up with a
Sunday.
way. They come up with a way.
I'd like to see an undefeated Kansas City, but I don't think it's going to happen, and I think this is the week they go down. I'm going to take Buffalo as well. Sorry, Harrison Butker.
I've got Kansas City. Never bet against Mahomes.
There you go.
Never.
That's what I've heard. Adam?
I'm going to bet against Mahomes. I'm taking Buffalo. This is the week that Baltimore finally trips up. But I don't bet.
How about Kansas
Correct,
City?
thank you.
How about Kansas City?
What about Kansas City?
Well, you said this is the week that Baltimore trips up.
Oh, sorry. This is the week Kansas City trips
He
up.
also said
I
said 45 minutes ago that he doesn't bet. And he
I
goes,
don't bet.
I bet on.
If I were to bet, I'd bet on Buffalo. Sorry, I was reading Anthony Richardson coming back and starting for the Colts this week.
All right, and our home team, the Falcons, going out to Denver. They could be playing in the snow. They're getting a lot of snow out there in Denver.
This is an okay team for the snow, though. We can run.
We can, but why didn't we do it Saturday? I mean, everybody wanted to blame Koo. I mean, the problem was we didn't score touchdowns.
Correct, but I told my buddy, he texted me, and I said, look, Koo was great when we weren't.
Yeah.
Now we're getting there, and he's not.
When you
He's
score
still won more games for us than he's lost.
when you score
Way
less
more.
points than the other team, it's hard to win games.
Yep.
No, and you're absolutely right, Chuck. But at the same time, Koo was winning us games when we were winning 4 games. Now we're a winning team and looking for that kicker. So
Well, he's won 2 for us this year.
he has.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And he's lost 1. They say he's lost 1, but I
I'll
mean,
give him 2.
Yeah. Okay.
The 6 wins, the best start since 2016.
Yeah.
I mean,
You going Falcons?
you know, I'm going Falcons this week. It's hard. I have issues with the Falcons because for so many years I see them get a lead and they lose it at the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
This year it seems that they're keeping the lead,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
nice to see.
And they had 3 chances in the fourth quarter to take the lead and just didn't do it. Robert, you going Falcons, right?
You know I am.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with the Dirty Birds,
Although I
too.
am nervous about Mr. Nix and his 2-yard passing game. That'd be the thing that we wouldn't have a really good job
Yeah.
at.
All right, Adam.
Bo Picks finally has the opportunity to beat a team from Georgia, which I don't think he's done recently.
That's a valid point.
I like this Denver team. They got a really good defense, very good offense. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. I'm taking Denver.
Judy.
All right. Well, we squeezed a lot into this show today.
Hey, let's squeeze one more thing. Congratulations, Atlanta United.
Yeah, they beat Inter
Absolutely.
Miami. They're into the next round of the MLS playoffs.
They're saying that is probably the biggest upset in league history.
Yeah. Beat Messi. in Miami, right? Yeah.
Correct. I mean, but that's pretty awesome.
And I want to add one personal congratulations to my cousin, Austin Hill, came in second in the Xfinity class. Justin Allgaier won. I think Austin
Out of
was a couple
Phoenix?
places behind.
Justin
Out of
Allgaier
Phoenix.
did win,
Yep.
yes.
But it was beautiful. Hey, Dave, thanks for coming on, man. We want you to come back.
appreciate
Yeah, all right.
Appreciate
Guys, know your numbers out there. Cover your ass. Don't forget to get that prostate checked. We'll see you next week on 3 Guys Who Love Sports.
Coach as well.
Yeah.
You go to FBS, it's a whole different animal.
Adam Crooks. Adam, how are you?
I'm good. It's a good week.
0-10 Larry, how are you?
0-10
Hanging in
Larry.
there. Doing well.
Hey,
Good deal.
Did he get any Conference USA games last week?
Oh, I don't know if he picked Conference USA.
No, I didn't pick conference.
Okay.
All right, yeah, we'll do that later when Will gets here. Happy to have everybody with us tonight. We got a very, very special show tonight. Something we don't do very often. I mean, they're always special, but we're going to be bringing on
we don't give
every-
money away.
and
Every
Nia
show
Kelly
is
and
special.
Sabrina Kim, yeah. So it's going to be a great night. But first, we need to start off with a Ron Smith commercial.
Ron Smith,
Ron,
Don
I have an
Smith,
ex-brother-in-law
We're
named
going to
Don
talk
Smith.
about
I
all
keep
of them
wanting to
before it's
call
all
him.
said and done.
all the Smiths.
Making preparations for when you're not around anymore is not easy. Nobody likes to think about their own mortality, and we can talk about it next week. Doesn't always fit into the big picture. And that's why you should contact our friend Ron Smith at Senior Life Insurance. Whether you're being buried or cremated, costs keep going up, but you can lock in that price today and take this final expense off your to-do list. Do your loved ones a favor and take care of your final expense so that when your time does come knocking, they won't have to worry about it. If you're age 1 to 85, they have a plan ready for you. So please contact Ron and his team at 440-561-0758.
What was that number again?
That number was 440-561-0758.
And we thank you, Ron Smith, for being the sponsor of the Owl Show. We're very excited about what's going on. Adam, as always, will give us a little 5-minute presentation of what's happening in KSU.
I only get 5 minutes this
Let me
week.
say this.
Usually after 4.5 minutes, it's pretty bad.
My time is
Let me
counting.
say this. If I'd rather have you on camera or these ladies, you lose. All right, go ahead.
I respect that. You're wrong, but I respect that.
If you were in Chuck's seat, you would still concur with him, though.
Not necessarily.
Okay, just checking.
I like the sound of my own voice too much.
We know that.
But we're already 40 seconds into your segment. You
have 2
haven't found
minutes
anything
left.
out.
So on Friday, volleyball took on Middle Tennessee. Last home games of the year against Middle Tennessee State. We won 3-1 on Friday. Came up short on Saturday. I believe Caroline Cole got the first serve of that game. She was out beginning of the year with a torn ACL. So
That's awesome.
Nice that she's made
And
it back.
we had won
Well,
4
well,
straight
she didn't-
going into that, right?
Yes, she didn't make it back. She just got the first serve, and then they took her out of the game.
That's awesome.
As kind of a tribute to everything that she's done for the program. Football went down to El Paso and lost in double overtime.
43-35.
Yes, 43-35. Tough game down in El Paso.
Wonder if anybody fell in love with a Mexican girl.
Marty Robbins.
Marty Robbins.
I got it, baby.
I knew you would. You were the only person I was trying to woo with that one. I knew the rest of everybody wasn't going to follow that one. Although,
No, they don't.
Out in the West Texas town of El
Okay.
Paso.
We're not. Do we have songs for every team we played
and
this
this
year?
is why you
do,
get
yeah.
limited to
We've
5
got-
minutes because
we've got the
still
road
only
to
found
San
You're down to
Jose.
30 seconds. Better
That's
go ahead.
fine. Women's basketball played Utah Valley. Kiara Berry hit some shots. They came up just short against Utah Valley, lost 61-64. Men's basketball went to Riverside, California, played Cal Baptist. Took a tough loss, 88-84. But you know, we're still building.
Those Baptists had God on their side that night.
Sure. And then the men's tennis team went down to Charleston for a tournament, and Sam Baldwin led us to a couple good victories.
Nice.
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's it. Men's basketball plays tonight against Bryan.
We can mention that we're looking for a new football coach.
We can.
Yeah. So thank Coach Bo for everything he did for the school for the 10-plus years, and we will certainly miss him.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Friend of the show.
He was friend of the show. You come on the show, good things happen.
Absolutely.
You guys remember that, right? Okay. Last year,
They came on the show.
The girls,
Caitlin and
Bella,
We had the
and
Australian,
Bella Kim.
the Australian twofer,
and then they
started
won.
dominating.
We
after.
next one, you
we
won the
won the
A-Sun
A-Sun
championship.
championship. Yeah.
Good
So maybe
things
we'll
No
win.
pressure.
Maybe we'll win the Conference USA championship this year.
All right.
Kusa.
All right. So thanks, Adam. Appreciate you sitting down with us.
You're welcome.
You stay if you want me to sing some more.
No, I'm good.
That's what I thought. All right. So we have had this lady on before several times, and one of our favorite coaches at KSU, Miss Erin Thorne. Erin, if you'll come around. Yeah, don't put off the applause till she gets on the headphones. She won't know everybody's clapping for her. Will's clapping for her.
We can clap for her as she's walking around, you know.
Yeah, hooty hoo, Miss Erin Thorne.
Hey, and can I just say that those are some awesome kicks you got on.
Yes, they are. Listen to that crowd. Man, I'm telling you, everybody loves Erin. Yeah. So how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Always good to have you back on.
I appreciate the invite.
Tell us what's happening.
It's quiet time of the year. It's our off season, so we're limited on the number of hours that I can tell them to go and play golf. They're focusing on academics, which means I get a little more time to go
Is
and
it
play
the
golf.
quiet time of the year or the most wonderful time? It's the most wonderful.
We're
I
doing all the songs.
thought you said that if I left, you'd stop singing.
But you're still
did you
here.
just talk?
I am not on
You're
camera
still
anymore.
here.
Okay.
That's all I. All right. So, yeah, quiet period. It's really the only quiet period you have throughout the year, isn't it?
It is, yep.
Yeah.
We're going for most of the year.
All right. And tell us about a little bit closer. Tell us a little bit about your fundraiser you're doing. $7,500 you're trying to raise?
That's our goal, yeah. So between the men's program and I, we
It's between two of you.
well, we both came up with the Scrappy logo.
Okay.
So we both have access to it. It's exclusive to the golf programs. They're running their own fundraiser as well. We're providing the same levels. So if you give 100 to the women's team or the men's team, you're getting the same package back with the exclusive Scrappy logo that I've got on my hat.
I
Love
love that hat.
Yep. And for ours, we're focused on being able to take the whole team down to Arizona during spring break. We're in the Notre Dame event. We've got the 5 in, but we're playing at Wigwam. There's 3 courses in the resort, so it's a great opportunity for all of our players to get time on some green grass and some warmth, because we all know it's a roll
what's
over
coming.
the dice.
Yeah.
March 8th to 13th here in Kennesaw as to weather.
That's the one I was at Pine Tree, right?
Well, that's
Last year?
That's later.
Oh,
yeah,
is it?
But
it was
we're
cold
trying.
that day, I
It can
remember.
be cold late March, yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
Growing up, what was your golf year? About 5 months long?
Thereabouts. So we would always try to open the golf course the first weekend in May. There was many times where we would open it and close it because more snow would
Yeah,
come.
we're gonna have to wait a couple more weeks.
And then the pro shop would close kind of mid-October. And again, it'd be a roll of the dice if you could get any more rounds in before the snow flies. Because, I mean, let's face it, up there, from a Halloween standpoint, you had to choose your costume so that you could fit your snowsuit underneath it.
So when you played in the snow, did you use orange balls?
Oh, no, I still use the white ones.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Okay, I was just curious.
You've
It's
heard
gonna
of
have
the,
good eyes in
yeah,
the middle.
You've heard of the leaf rule?
Uh-uh.
You've never heard of the leaf rule? All right, well, if you lose a ball in the
Leafless with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have an idea, you just drop, move on. You also have the snowflake rule up there. Of
Okay.
If you hit a white ball and you figure out where it's going to be, you just play from there.
I'd never miss a fairway if I could play by that rule.
Still perfect. So let me ask you this question. You said towards the end of the coaching, you're limited at what you can do. Now, I'm sure there was a conversation before before you have to wave bye to these girls for a while. And say, hey, I want you to golf all the freaking time because they're allowed to golf as much as they want to. They're just not allowed to golf for you, and you're not allowed to watch them and tell them what they should do.
Right, yeah. So we're limited on the number of hours where we can dictate that, hey, you're going to play, you're going to practice, and that sort of thing. And it is a balance, right?
Sure.
They need downtime. That
They're young. They're pretty.
no, they still need downtime,
They still need
and they know it.
What's that face for,
Ask Nia about playing over Christmas last year and what that did. It's there's some that, yes, it's important. Sabrina's going to be playing a couple tournaments here during the break and that sort of thing. So there's some opportunities that you want to go and look at, but it's not a requirement.
So if we got invited to a best ball, could we invite him to come play with us?
I think so.
You know what'd be funny is if they saw Chuck and I on the first tee, they'd be like, "Here's dead money walking."
Hey,
oh wait,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you not see who's
Did
playing
you meet
with
my
us
partner?
today? That's my partner Sabrina.
Yeah.
She hit 14 putts yesterday.
On one hole. That'd be great.
No, that was me on
oh,
one
that
hole.
was you on one hole, yeah. All right. So you each have, the men and the women each have a goal of 7,500, or is that a combined goal?
No. The 75 is for us. I think Bryant has a little bit higher aspirations and
Yeah.
that sort of thing, but
Yeah.
Well, we're not cutting him a check, so I don't know. Maybe he needs to figure out what his aspirations truly are.
Yeah, because he obviously doesn't know the rule. If you come on the Owl Show, good things happen.
He'll learn sooner or later, like the rest of them.
Yep. So that trip is the one to Arizona, right?
right.
Okay.
And that's January?
No, that's over spring break.
Okay.
Over spring
so
break.
we've got some time still. So if we got more money, we could give
Well,
even more.
Yeah, I mean the fundraiser again. We're trying to make it exclusive, kind of promote that opportunity to get it. So also to get it out in time. The first kind of go round to get this logo is only until December 1st.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right.
Well, because you're going to have to buy plane tickets and a few
Yeah,
other things. So.
exactly.
Well, we want to start this
Look
off
at there.
We
with
appreciate it.
$500 for the KSU women's golf team.
Yeah, thank
All
you
right.
so much, guys. We appreciate
Now,
all
when
the
you get
support.
this to the bank and you flip it over and you sign it,
I'm old enough to know what a check is. So.
Hey, I want you to use your app and
Larry,
see if
did you get a picture of us
direct
with the check?
deposit that one.
yeah. All right. And we'll get another one with the girls after we've had them on. Go Owls.
Hooty hoo.
Look at Arian doing a little owl thing. I love that. All right. So take this with you, hang it up in the locker room or whatever you want to do with it.
We will.
But we actually have some money to go with it. We'll give you here in a little bit. So.
We appreciate that.
All right. Very happy. If you get closer to your goal and you need more, you let us know because we want to help you out as much as we can.
And what outside of the trip to Phoenix, is there anything else, or is this just to try to get the girls all out there?
Yeah, so I mean, we're playing Notre Dame's event, so 5 of them will be competing during that time frame out there. Again, just we know it's a roll of the dice weather-wise back here in Kennesaw that time of the year.
Sure.
So let's get all 7 of them out there and playing, in nice warm weather and that sort of thing.
So I've got your text, but remind the audience that are watching where they can go to give to this fund.
Yeah, so you can go into the Owl Fund portion of our website, select Women's Golf, and it's part of the direct gift to our program.
Awesome. Well, we always love having you on the show, and we want to get to the girls and give them some airtime. But let's get a couple of commercials out. But once again, a big hooty hoo for Miss Erin Thorne. Hooty hoo. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Doc.
There's a lot of places to get your oil changed in the Kennesaw area, but if you're looking for a personal experience, then stop in at Castro Kennesaw Express Loop or Lost Mountain Express Loop. We'll always do our best to get you in and out quickly and safely without a whole lot of fuss. We're a true owner-operated business, and you'll find Brian under a car or hood at one of the shops. We offer experienced, knowledgeable technicians and the latest computer software to help you maintain your new car warranty and keep your pride and joy running for the next 100,000 miles. We proudly offer Castrol products.
I'd have helped you out with that Castrol product, but there was a creature crawling right behind Chuck's head. I decided I should let him know.
Creaster.
Let's see. Joshua Smith and his wife Tammy are both graduates of Kennesaw State College. He's been practicing law for 24 years, specializing in sports and entertainment law while continuing in criminal defense, civil litigation, juvenile, and personal injury law. And he's ready to represent you all the way from your small town to the Supreme Court and any appellate court in between. With all the new rules regarding NIL and cash payments to athletes, they are placing a new emphasis on Kennesaw State University student athletics to help our student athletes better navigate some of the bigger issues that have tripped up so many. Give them a call tomorrow at 706-217-2095.
Where can you reach them?
That's right, 706-217-2095.
And we thank you, Joshua and Brian, for being sponsors of the Owl Show here at Miller's Ale House every Wednesday night. Love being here. And we have another new guest, Miss Sabrina Kim. Everybody, big hooty hoo for Sabrina.
It's echoing through the rafters. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good.
Tell us the Sabrina Kim story. Sabrina is from Brazil, is that?
Yes, I am.
So how did you find out about KSU golf all the way from the beaches of Rio de Janeiro?
Yeah.
So I actually went to high school in Florida. So I practiced in an academy there with.
Where at? Which one?
It's called Mathajon Golf Academy.
Okay.
but It's a little small academy.
What part of Florida?
Port St. Lucie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Down
You've
towards
heard of
West.
it?
Downtown Ports. Yeah, my ex-family used to be in Hollywood, so we'd
Oh.
drive down the turnpike and go through Port St. Lucie all the time.
Oh, that's cool.
And minor league baseball.
Minor League
all around
baseball, the
there.
New York Mets played there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we worked out like next
I'm
to
not
the
just
stadium.
a pretty face. I'm not,
Yeah, what he said.
But yeah, so I played golf in Florida, and I've traveled around the states and came across Kennesaw.
so I got to ask you, did you ever play at Rolling Hills?
No, I haven't.
It's in Fort Lauderdale. It's where they filmed Caddyshack.
Oh,
I played there the day I got married.
that's cool.
Teed off at 6:30 in the morning, got married at 6 o'clock at night.
I haven't heard of it though.
Yeah, it was. I
There's a
guess
lot of
it's
golf
still
courses
there. Right?
down
Yeah,
there.
Fort
Yeah.
Lauderdale. There's a lot of golf down there.
Yeah.
So, how old were you when you came to the States?
I was 13.
13, and already a golfer?
Yes, I wanted to pursue golf further, and
Sure.
the resources in Brazil aren't. Oh, there's not a lot.
So, where were you from in Brazil?
São Paulo.
Sao Paulo, the
Yeah.
biggest city.
Yes.
So, how many golf courses are in Sao Paulo? I don't believe very many. That's probably
Yeah.
probably where.
Yeah. So you have to basically drive an hour.
Why do you have to drive
least.
an hour from the biggest city? Because Sao Paulo is actually going to be, they say, the biggest city in the world, like in 30 more years or something like that. So I think they need to add a couple golf courses so you don't have to drive an
Yeah.
hour.
Well, we got her here now. She doesn't have to drive anywhere.
This is true.
Yeah. So, was there an LPGA golfer or somebody that inspired you when you were a kid and said, "I want to play that sport"? Or why did you fall in love with golf?
Well, obviously, everyone finds their favorite golfer when they get into golf, but I was just basic like Tiger Woods and
Yeah.
Lydia Ko.
Yeah.
Right, but-
Lydia Ko. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when the golf course is an hour away, hey, Dad, I think I saw a golf on TV. I'd like to start playing that. Can you buy me some stuff and drive me an hour back and forth? I mean, that can't be an easy way to start a career,
Yeah.
which is why you ended up moving here.
So there was a small driving range right by my house, but it was only like 50 yards away, the net.
I could
And-
hit that one.
And that's where we practiced, and that's where I got my first lesson. And then I started going on from there.
Was it love at first, pure shot?
I don't remember.
How old were you?
I was 11
Okay.
when I first had my lesson.
Kind of relatively old, I would say, by a lot of people's standards.
I didn't start very early. Although I've been around golf all my life, kind of, since our
At that
parents.
course, an hour away.
No,
No, not
my
that.
parents are my parents are Korean and golf is pretty big in Korea. They've always had golf clubs, but they just never played.
What are those? We keep those for intruders. so
Alligators. You got to beat those alligators off. in Florida.
what made your golfing parents move to Sao Paulo?
So when I first started playing, I got into it because of my aunt and uncle. They took me to a golf course and they told me that I would, even though it was like really hot, I would not get off the range, and I just kept on like hitting balls, or trying to at least. And that's when like they slowly started pushing me a little into golf. But when I first started taking golf seriously, I was juggling like a lot of other side stuff, and I just liked golf the best. And then that's when I realized
Did you play other sports?
not really. I just for fun.
So what was the other stuff you were juggling? Boys?
No. Oh my gosh. I was 11.
Oh, yeah, that's
She
right.
was
you
not
were
at the
like-
Copacabana beach. She's not the girl from Ipanema.
Oh, I love that
No.
song.
I did flute lessons, piano lessons, and
Do you still play?
no, I forgot a long time ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So what are your hobbies when you're not playing golf?
Hobbies. I like doing my own nails. It's very girly stuff.
Well, we
They're
noticed
not
you were a
done right
girl
now,
right
but-
away, yeah. We noticed you were a girl right away, so we knew it would be girly stuff.
But I like trying new foods. I like sleeping.
Oh, sleeping's a good hobby.
A well slept foodie who takes personal hygiene to the next level.
You just say, yeah, that was good. Then I want to sleep till about noon tomorrow. Get up, play around.
So tell me this: I do see girls more and more. They've got those 3-inch nails on. There has never been a golfer who could possibly pull something like this off, right?
Yeah,
Is this typically not the sport if you like nails?
Yeah, no, I would never. 3 inches. Is
But
crazy.
even if you had a bigger fingernail, I just saw what you had. You kind of look like me currently, which is not a lot to show. What would be the longest you would consider playing in? You like it like that,
It'd
right?
be tough to play with long nails, wouldn't it?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I would think
I would go a little longer than this.
a little longer, but not much.
Yeah, because after it just catches on everything and catches, like when you're picking up the ball in the hole, it catches on the sides, get like the paint out of the cup.
I don't have to pick the ball up very much out of the hole. People like Chuck usually say, just pick the ball up. It's okay. You're done with this hole now.
Yeah, triple par is high enough. So you played all over the world, obviously. Where's your favorite course you've ever played?
Oh, favorite course.
That's the same thing I asked you.
Do you want to
Yeah.
go first?
No, I know mine. Go ahead.
A bougie South Floridian who went to special school, I'm sure, has quite the course.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
There's a lot. So.
I'm sure.
I liked the It's called the LPGA course down in Daytona, I think.
Correct, St. Augustine area. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I liked that one. And
Is that where the Dinah Shore is, or something like that?
I
Yeah.
I don't know. But there's
Coach Aaron says no.
Yeah. That's what I looked at when I asked the question. My eyes just went straight over.
No dinosaur anyways.
No.
Dinah's way offshore by now, yeah.
Is that a song?
No, it's a person.
Oh.
Dinah Shore.
But just for
used
the
to
record,
host a
she
good
used to
female
sing
golf
on her
tournament.
little show.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
There's another course. I forgot. It's something orange. The Orange Bowl. No.
Orange Bowl, that's in Miami, Florida.
Yeah, but it was in Orlando. It was like the Orange something.
Oh, Orange Trail, something.
Orange County?
Orange
Yeah,
Blossom.
Orange County. There was like 3 courses.
Yeah.
Really big. It has like hotels on the golf course.
So learning to golf an hour north of Sao Paulo, which is a pretty warm course, I'm guessing, and then living in South Florida and playing all these courses. What's it like coming up here where you actually have fall and winter and stuff like that? Is it different for you getting out there when the weather's not so typically warm?
Well, Florida was actually pretty similar to Brazil. Even like the winters were probably the same.
Right.
I would say Brazil is actually a little colder in the winter, just because when it gets cold, there's not much sun, and the sun's really what makes it hot.
Absolutely. But since you've come up to KSU and you've had to golf a little bit in October or November, what are those moments like? Or do you get out there and think, holy moly, this is not the same sport I signed up for?
It's a struggle. It's so
I'm
cold.
sure. I'm sure.
Like that tournament last year at
yeah.
Pine Tree. I was out there. That was chilly.
That was rough.
Yeah. Now, your favorite local course is obviously Dogwood, because Carrick's a good friend of all of ours. Yeah.
Even people off camera are nodding.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Carrick's a big supporter of the girls' golf, men's golf too, I think. So, it's really funny. We need Naya to cover your ears for a minute, because we don't want you to hear this next question. Adam, can you make sure her ears are covered so she can't hear?
She's got so much hair, but it looks like her ears are covered.
Okay, so we want to know, all over the world, who's the most famous person in your cell phone?
On my cell phone? Probably, oh my gosh, probably nobody.
What's
Maybe-
nobody's last name?
Nobody, mom. Nobody.
Maybe,
You could get some really big points if you said Aaron Thorne.
oh, yeah, Aaron Thorne.
Oh, there you go. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So not Tiger Woods. You don't have Tiger's name in here. Yeah.
No.
Do you watch a lot of LPGA golf now?
Yes. Well, it actually calms me down a lot. So.
How so? Watching them mess up make you feel like it's okay? Well, you know,
Anybody can do this.
I mean, yeah, sometimes if I watch them play, like if you watch the full round, you can see that they also make mistakes, so it's good.
I was a big Michelle Wee fan because she was born on the exact same day as my oldest son.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I like her too.
she's now retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son is not.
27?
But yeah, 37 actually. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah. 35. Yeah. My other son's 27. I get the 7 and the 5
okay.
confused. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's cool. Well, we obviously want to get Naya on here, but we want you to see that little camera up there. We want you to look in that camera, and we want you to say why somebody should come play golf at KSU.
It's great. Everything's great.
Oh, that narrows it down.
Should we
Yeah.
make that check payable directly?
Just come. Everything's great.
Now we said that earlier, and we asked her, why did you choose KSU? Did they find you, or did you find them?
I think we found each other.
Just a beautiful relationship. We
It was
found
just
each
meant
other.
to be. But yeah, I chose KSU because of the location. Since I said I was from Florida, or not from Florida, I've lived in Florida, I wanted a different environment, and I could see myself living around Kennesaw. I just liked it.
Cool.
Well, you got to promise you'll come back, right?
Yeah.
Because like we
After
said,
you-
anytime you're on the show, good things are going to happen. So
Okay.
we expect you to get like $1 million for Christmas or something. You come back, let us know.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, a big hooty hoo for Sabrina.
And I know I'm putting the cart before the horse on this one. But whenever you win a tournament, right as you're thinking, I need to thank my coach, I need to thank my mom, and I need to go back on the show.
There you go, exactly.
In that order.
All right.
Yep.
All right, so let's get Brain Train on, and we'll bring on Naya.
At Brain Train Centers, the fastest growing neurofeedback provider in the world, and I have some pretty important questions for you. Do you or someone you know struggle with focus and attention, sleep, memory, or other mood issues? Or maybe you just want to achieve more in high-pressure situations. Well, what if I told you you can unlock your brain's full potential and change your life entirely through neurofeedback, a drug-free and natural approach to negative moods, and it's backed by more than 50 years of research, so it's not new. It is safe for both children and adults as you retrain the brain to create new pathways. Medication may help short-term, but they don't address the underlying issues. Just as push-ups help your physical strength, neurofeedback is personal training for your brain. With over 20 offices nationwide, don't hesitate to reach out to Brain Train Centers, as we will provide you with the highest level of compassionate care and help you achieve the mental clarity, performance, and calm you deserve. Your journey to a better quality of life starts with a brain map. Now you can retrain your brain and reset your life. So just call or text 470-291-2778 or visit braintraincentersinc.com.
For being sponsors of the Owl Show, we got another new guest, Miss Naya Kelly. About a big hooty hoo.
Hooty hoo!
See, now you guys don't know Will Renfro. Aaron might know. Do you know Will sitting up at the bar? Will is the super fan of KSU sports, and he never misses a show. If he can't be here, he watches. He's an amazing guy.
He takes his flag to all the football locations.
Takes his flag everywhere.
This
Doesn't
year-
miss football games at all, anywhere. So you all need to get to know my buddy Will. So Naya, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You know what? The best thing I like about you so far is you love Christmas.
Yep.
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 Yep. So are you on Facebook?
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to be friends so you can follow my Christmas
Okay.
music countdown.
All right,
All right.
perfect.
That'll be fun. All right. So favorite Christmas song? Do you have a favorite Christmas song?
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Oh
Gotta be
my
top
gosh.
choice.
we talked about that earlier, right? With you, right? I want a hippopotamus for Christmas, wasn't it? Oh, that's a horrible song. We're going to play, before we get off the air, we're going to play Dominic the Christmas Donkey.
I might-
It's
Adam,
a great
get
song.
that queued
I
up.
might
I
leave a couple
love
minutes
Dominic
early.
the Christmas
It
Donkey.
is the worst Christmas song.
I'm going to probably
in the
leave a
world.
couple minutes early today.
But tell us how you wound up at KSU.
Well,
Look closer to the mic, please.
okay. So, I'm from Canada, which is also where Coach is from. So she had a bit of a connection with people up there. She actually was headed to watch a different player, but I ended up being in that group, and from then on, I then learned who she was, and from there, we just kind of figured out how to get in contact, and everything kind of just went from there. Very smooth.
Did you look at any other schools?
No, actually, I didn't. This was my only one.
One and only.
Yep, the
Yeah.
one and only.
But you know how easy when you're thinking about going to school, and you're probably coming south of the border, right? Because not a lot of Canadian schools, not a real big
No.
big draw, and then you meet somebody who speaks the language, and you're like, wow, here's a girl who I could be.
Yeah.
And just kind of makes it all flow and that much easier,
For
right?
sure, yeah. I mean, I knew she'd already kind of been there, done that, lived
Sure.
through it all, and coming from around the same area, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of follow in her shoes and get all the experiences I can.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been to the Southeast United States before?
Yeah, I mean, we would go to...
Disney? You went
Disney
through a couple.
was like the every year trip as a family. I went as like a couple golf trips with my family, but mostly just Disney.
And how old were you when you first swung the club?
Oh, like 3 years old.
Right.
It's been right from when I'm walking.
Wow. And what attracted you to the game, do you know?
Whoever put the club in her hands when she was 3?
Which would be pretty much every member of my family.
Good for you.
Were they all golfers as well?
Yeah, my mom's actually a professional teaching.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's where I got into that. But also just my dad was right up there. He could have gone professional if he had tried. But yeah, it's the skills in the family, so I kind of just went from there.
There you go.
I had developed it all on my own. I'm a 3 handicap.
Look at you
Yeah,
go.
woods, irons, and putters are all 3 my handicaps.
Yeah, his jokes only get
It
worse
wasn't.
if you laugh at it.
It wasn't that funny. Don't encourage him.
Sorry, my bad.
No, you
I
laugh
got you,
all
I
you
got
want
you, I
to,
got you.
sweetie. That's all right.
Now I got an interesting question to ask you.
Okay.
Coach said something to me that was really weird. I didn't understand it at first. And are both of them here? Oh, they'll both be coming together because there's only 2 sets of keys.
Yes.
And so you have one of the only 2 cars
I do.
for the golf team.
Yeah.
So this makes you pretty popular, right?
Yes, I am practically the mom of the team now.
And
I'm only 20.
You're the youngest, right? You're sophomore?
I'm junior.
Oh, you're junior.
Yes,
okay.
I'm the
Nice. Sabrina's sophomore, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I am the mom. I'm the oldest on the team, year-wise, and yes, I am the mom.
Well, that speaks good for the team because we got another year of all these great golfers, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Somebody must be doing one heck of a recruiting job.
If we could only figure out who
Nudge,
that
nudge.
was.
Yeah, if only we could figure out who that was. So, did you play any other sports growing up, or?
Yeah, actually, I was also a very competitive figure skater.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, so I was juggling both for a while when I was young.
Figure skating and juggling—that's a tough combination.
Yeah,
It's hard enough to do an axle while you're just skating.
But
I mean,
while you're juggling, my God.
bowling pins or oranges?
Chainsaws? Chainsaws?
Running chainsaws. It has to be running.
Oh,
or-
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they have plenty of those to cut down the trees in Canada.
Yeah.
Well, and you look like you could be a figure skater just because you're not very tall.
Yes.
And so, that's kind of one of those
Yeah.
forte.
Yes.
Dorothy Hamelish.
Family.
I
yeah,
love
no,
Dorothy Hamill.
I fit the description perfectly for a figure skater in Canada.
So
Just-
why golf over figure skating?
Well, I decided to pick up figure skating pretty heavily and train hours on end every day. And I realized even being 14 and 15, it is still really hard on my body being young. And I figured, I'm going to end my career in my 20s, whereas golf is going to take me through a lifetime of experiences and journeys. And I figured, with it being in my family as well, I just I want to see where I can take it.
Figure skater, you were going to be 33 and not be able to walk through a airport checkout without
Yes.
Or without getting a
and,
tire iron to the knee.
Yeah, exactly.
and if you go with golf, you'd be hanging out with Sabrina going to Brazil and South
You
Korea.
mean driving, driving
Exactly.
Sabrina
Come on,
everywhere.
let's meet up. It's our 50th reunion.
Yeah, I'll be out there. It's can't
That's
walk
awesome.
anymore.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
I tell my daughter the same thing all the time. Is at all the sports you can play, this is a pretty good
Yeah.
one.
So do you still skate recreationally?
Yeah, actually, I went the other day for the first time in months, but it comes back so naturally. It's like riding a bike, and it's.
I wish it would.
Yeah.
I actually went
Not
to
for this
Kennesaw
guy,
Junior
it's not.
College, and I took an ice skating class.
Oh, really?
At Kennesaw Junior College. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I could fly going forward, but I got to see the only PE I've ever got to see in my entire life because I couldn't skate backwards, and I don't know why, but I never could go backwards. But I could do the pirouettes and I could
Yep.
speed down the court.
Oh, yeah.
But I couldn't go backwards.
No,
to
that's
save my
actually
life.
that's a problem for a lot of people. It's a lot harder than you think.
Oh, well, thank you for saying that. 'Cause
Yeah,
I don't
no,
feel as stupid.
you're not
as
the only
think.
one, I promise.
Well, that's nice. Skating is a beautiful sport. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite things to watch at the Olympics.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when times get tense and you just need to check out and is that something you could do? I mean,
Yeah.
because it's almost therapeutic for you.
Yeah.
Like, let me just go out here and hang out for an hour and a half,
Yeah.
get a good workout, and
Yeah,
feel refreshed.
It's almost now because I can't do it very much. It's the most leisurely thing ever. It takes all my stress away. It's good for the soul, honestly. I can just go skate around and
And
I
let
feel a
me
lot better.
ask you this: since how many times in the United States, in Georgia, have you skated?
That would be my second the other day.
Okay, so when you're in Canada, just about everybody's pretty darn
Outside.
good at it.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
so much when you come here, huh?
No, it's a lot
Now,
different.
there used to be an ice skating place here in Kennesaw. Is it
Yeah.
still here?
Yeah, I think there's one.
The
It's
Igloo,
like
is that
5
what it
minutes
was
away.
called?
It's called the Atlanta Ice Palace or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
really, really good.
Yeah. I'd like to go sometime, see if I could still skate forward. Yeah.
Forward at
Yeah,
least.
forward at least. Yeah.
At this point, we might as well try you backwards.
Might as well just push me as I skated backwards.
Yeah.
Get that C up to a B. That would be fantastic.
Call your teacher. Hey, this guy's
my teacher
improved.
was actually from Canada. Susan Natras. Have you ever heard of her? She was actually a silver medalist in skeet shooting, from Canada.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And she was teaching skating.
And she was teaching ice skating. Yeah. Yeah. Long,
Well, she was
long,
teaching all sorts of
long,
classes.
long
He just
time
took
ago.
the skating class.
So, where's your favorite course you played, Naya?
I would have to say TBC Sawgrass.
How'd you do on
say that.
17?
Well, I was pretty young actually, so I got teed up at the very front tee deck and put driver in my hand, and I was about 20 feet from making it onto the green, but I was 7, 8, so
Oh, wow. 7, 8 years old.
I would love to play it again, but even at that age, that course stuck with me.
And
That's
having
the only time you played it?
I think, well, I would only play a couple holes, but I've seen the whole thing. My family, though, they used to go there for a tournament every couple years, so I just tagged along, and yeah, I remember every hole.
So now, not being a good golfer at all and having never been standing on the tee box at 17, had you made it 20 more feet, was the thing just going to skip right across the green? Because, hitting a driver, I don't know what kind of loft you had.
Yeah.
I just thinking my driver might one-hop that green if it was, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, I had my little US Kids set, so I'd still get some loft on it. It was a nice little flexi club, so swung
Flexi
it-
clubs.
swung it by one little speed, and yeah, 20 feet short.
I wanted to ask Sabrina this too. Would you enjoy playing the Ladies Amateur at Augusta National?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be probably my dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was able to experience a little bit of competition at Augusta, but that would be next level. That would be
You weren't
insane.
in the punt, the chip and punt.
Yeah, the drive, chip, and punt.
You were in that?
Yes.
Oh, cool. How
I was
was
going to
that?
say, I have a little experience at Augusta.
Yeah.
Please do tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in
Did you do that
2014
too, Sabrina? No. Yeah.
Yeah, no, actually, my parents just one day took me in. They were like, we saw this competition. Like, are you interested? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I was young. I didn't really understand what it meant, but
Do your parents have deep Canadian accents?
Yeah, I
So
take
I'm wondering if
Google.
the person in Augusta even understood what they were saying. We're here with our daughter, and we'd like to go golfing in your
Y'all?
tournament.
Y'all.
Y'all?
hoser?
We're blending, y'all.
Yeah, no.
And how old were you when you did that?
I was only 9, so
You've been doing this a while.
I've been doing it a while at the competitive level for a long time.
Have you ever been out there and got to walk around the course?
Yeah,
Did you
actually.
get to then?
Yep. So I was able to do a practice round walk with my family when I went, and then my brother also went when he was 9, 4 years later. So I was a little bit older. Took it in. It meant a lot more. And I saw how beautiful it was.
What a
and
beautiful place to walk, isn't it? It's
Beautiful.
Well, just remember that in the spring, we're going to have a fundraiser that's going to be auctioning off a ticket and a ride. Adam's going to take somebody because he goes every year to the Masters because he has 4 tickets. So we're going to turn that
That's
into
one
a
of the things we like
fundraiser.
about
I have
Adam.
one ticket.
You have yours, and
I
then,
have mine.
and then
Well,
we're
we
going
don't
to
care
we're
if you
auctioning
go.
off your dad's, and you're going to,
And then
Oh,
I'll
I'm-
just get a ride.
yeah.
I mean, if you want to go, like,
Hey,
There you
we're
go.
going to
We're
make it a
already making
contest.
money.
So we'll make it a- All right, cool. Have you got a favorite course around here? I actually love, I don't know if you've played at Great Waters out at Lake Oconee. Have you played there in? It's a Nicholas course. Man, I love that course. It's one of my favorite places I've ever played. You ever played out there?
I have not.
Whew. Great course.
I'm so horrible, though. I mean, the nicest course I've ever played was a great course, but, watching me play the ocean
Butcher it,
course,
yeah.
Was not a thing of beauty, I can assure you. People on Kiowa are still talking about it.
Yeah, I saw that they had a sinkhole on the 18th at Pebble Beach yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right in the
saw
middle of
something
the
about
fairway.
that.
That was pretty wild. Yeah,
That's what happens at the beach.
yeah, it does.
That's
did
true,
you
yeah.
did you see the Caitlin Clark video from this morning? She hit it. She was at the Annika's Pro-Am.
Yep.
She
LPGA
shanked
Pro-Am.
it off the tee
Into the crowd.
Into the crowd?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But you know what?
That would be me.
She is a basketball player. So, shame on all of you who lined up right next to her. Check this out.
No, yeah. I mean, if I'm standing up there, I might have the nerves to do the exact same thing. I've felt that nervous before.
That's cool.
It's not an out of all the different sports they could ask other athletes to do, they only ask you to ever play golf, and it's probably the toughest. You could ask a baseball player to shoot a basketball way better than he could hit a golf ball.
Yeah.
So it's kind of entertaining how
Yeah.
we.
All right, Adam, are you ready to give us a snippet?
Of
Dominique.
I'll
the
play it
Crystal?
after the show. Larry has told me that if I play it during the show, we'll get taken down.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
We'll
Yeah,
get
all
shut
right.
After-
down because you can't.
after
you
the
can't
show.
Play different
Yeah.
things.
After the show, I will play Dominic the Christmas
Can
dog.
you
The
guys stick around
man.
15 minutes?
Of course.
All right, cool.
Gotta
The
hear the song.
greatest Christmas
Yeah,
song
just
of all
for the
time.
record,
You
15
will love
minutes.
me even more.
Are we
when you
playing
hear
the
this
show 5
moronic
times?
Song. Huh?
You said if they can hang out for 15 minutes. I'm just wondering how long this song got in the last year.
Oh, no. But we're going to have Will on. I want him to stick around so we can get a
Anagata
picture with
DeVita
him.
meets the donkey.
Yeah. So real quick,
Yeah.
who's the most famous person in your cell phone?
I don't think I really have anyone. No, I don't really know of anyone that would be that famous. No.
Grandma, Grandpa.
Mom was a professional.
Aaron Thorne.
Dad could have beat Mike Weir in the back parking lot with a 4-iron, but no,
First
you don't
lefty-
know anybody.
First lefty to ever win the Masters, right?
There you go.
Mike Weir.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh God.
Is that our national
That was
anthem?
"Oh Come All Ye Faithful" or "Oh
No,
Canada"?
I was getting ready to bust out Canada.
Oh,
Oh,
Canada,
okay.
yeah.
I like that one. All right.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you there was either
Yeah,
a
it sounded
Christmas
like, "Oh,
song
Come
or
All
the
Ye
Canadian
Faithful," then.
national anthem. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk Christmas song, everybody. How about a big hand and a hootie hoo for Miss Nia Kelly? Thanks, Winnie. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Let's get our American Axes commercial out of the way.
Axes.
Axes. I'm going to axes you some more questions here in a minute.
Get out of town. Tired of going to the same old places for the same old thing? American Axes has your solution. Whether you're looking for something new to do before or after the game, the most memorable work outing ever, or just wanting to take something else off your bucket list, American Axes in their 3.5 Atlanta locations in Marietta, Tucker, downtown at the Works, and the uber cool new mobile axe experience that can be set up wherever you need. Keep an eye out for them at upcoming events and festivals and possibly some Falcons games. Look them up at American Axes or give them a call at 678-763 673-3635.
Hey, Robert, how can you reach them?
You can call them at 678-763-3635 to schedule your next adventure.
And thank you, Dan Fisher, for being the sponsor of the Owl Show. We have our good friend, Mr. Will Riffro, back with us. Will, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good.
How was our trip to UTEP?
I really enjoyed El Paso.
And from what I read on your Facebook page, the food was better than what it was in Bowling Green.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I don't think there was ever a doubt in your mind on that, right?
Everything had green chilies in it, though.
Yeah,
really?
But, I mean, everything had great flavor. So, like, we went to a barbecue restaurant, and I could talk all day about how good the barbecue was, but I got, as a side, cream corn. Well, I've never had cream corn with green chilies in it, but it made it very good.
Green chilies hot?
No, not hot.
They're
Just flavorful.
a little spicy?
Yes.
All right, cool. So, double overtime, 43-35 loss.
Wow, I don't know how. If you watched the first half, you would not believe we made it to overtime.
Correct.
The offense had, I think, one first down the entire first half and about 30 or 40 yards total. And the defense saved us the first half with 2 goal line stands and kept the game within reach because it was 14-7 at half, and the 7 we got was from the kickoff return.
Yeah.
For a touchdown. Quay Ashley got a nice return right after they scored.
Number 2 this year, right?
Think so. But he took that kickoff right after they scored back for a touchdown. So.
Yeah, I was texting back and forth with Garrett because I kept losing sight of ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus. Their Gamecast is horrible.
Oh, well,
horrible.
Well, you should just go out to El Paso with me next time. You can see it live.
I'd love to. I thought that would have been a fun trip.
How was the Sun Bowl?
The Sun Bowl is beautiful. It is literally carved into mountains.
Correct.
So you got 2 mountains on each side, and they had to carve back the mountain to fit the bowl in there. But it has one major flaw, and I didn't know this flaw until I got there. If you park on the south side and you want to go to Will Call on the north side, there is no way to walk around the stadium.
Oh, because it's mountains.
It's mountains. I asked the guy, I said, how do I get to ticket gate 1 so I can get my tickets? He goes,
get in your car.
Get in your car and drive 13 minutes around that mountain.
He said, I've never been asked that question.
So you did have to get back in your car and drive around the mountain?
Well, there was another security guard that was nice enough. We were there early enough. He says, I'll just walk you through the stadium and walk you out the other side, and you can go get your tickets. He was very nice. The hospitality in El Paso was phenomenal, no matter where we went.
Those Texans are known for it.
It was, El Paso is right there next to Juarez. I say next to Juarez. It's
on top of it.
Yeah, they're
just a little river.
They're one big city that's really 2 cities.
Correct.
And the Sun Bowl, by the way, if you're in the stadium, it's a U, and when you're looking out the end zone that's open, that's Juarez.
It's pointed south.
It's pointed south. So yeah, you see it. You don't see anything but Juarez across the river.
It's funny you say that because Tech has been predicted that they may be playing Southern Cal in the Sun Bowl, and they played them there about 10 years ago and beat the slop out of them.
Well, they did, but about 15 or 20 years ago, they played. I don't remember who they played, but they lost. Because Liam Klein, I was talking to Liam after the game at the Sun Bowl. Yeah. Liam says, I think this place is cursed because every time he's been, he loses.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
And he was the coach at Tech with Bohannon.
Yeah, and I don't know if I told you or not, but the other game that they're projecting Tech for is the Fenway Bowl playing Tulane. Oh, that would be fun.
What is the Fenway Bowl?
It's
Fenway
a bowl game played at Fenway.
Wow. When did this happen?
About 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
They did the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankees.
New York.
Right. Okay. I'm familiar with that one.
Yeah, it's same premise. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, tough loss. I know you want to say something about Coach Bo and how much you appreciate him.
Well, he has so far has been our only coach up until this point. And as we all know, he was relieved of his duties after the game. And or Sunday morning, and it is what it is. At some point, we knew if the record kept going as it was going to be released, but we didn't know when.
Yeah.
So we all hoped that it was going to turn around, and it wasn't going to happen. I mean, we wanted him to be here 30 years.
Sure.
But when you look back at how many coaches have actually done that, and built a program and sustained a program, I mean, Mike Gundy just lost the game, and he's got a streak of 18 years of a winning streak, and if he doesn't win out and win a bowl, that goes away, and that's one of the very few coaches. And you look at that list of coaches that have done that have had winning seasons year after year after year. it's an elite list. It's hard to do.
And Mike Gundy's played for 47 different schools during that streak. So, you know.
But he's a man.
He's a man.
But very few people do like who was the guy at Florida State that was there?
Bobby
Bowden that was there forever.
Paterno, all those types of
Paterno,
guys.
yeah, those are very few and far between. And what's his name in Alabama? Bear Bryant was the same way.
Saban was too.
Saban and Bryant.
Well, Saban was there 14, 16 years.
Something
He
like
was there
that,
from
yeah.
2007 to 2023.
One of you girls do that math for him.
So it'd be 16 going on 17.
And that's a long tenure, and so we all wanted that for Bo, and but it just wasn't meant to be.
And we thank Bo so much for everything he did for this
Absolutely.
program. That starting a football program off from scratch is one of the most difficult things that a person can do.
And all of the names that were just mentioned, in comparison, as successful as all those coaches were, none of them ever started a program.
Nope.
Well,
Not one.
Coach Bo still has the record of being the winningest program from scratch. I don't know how you say that, but
Absolutely,
yeah, he still
Absolutely.
holds that record.
All right. Well, we got some games to pick. Let's get into them. Again, love you, Coach Bo, and wish you well.
Oh, and just for the record, because I can say this because I have a microphone. Now that we're at FBS, I know the score of the game at halftime. We used to have to wonder, hey, it's an FC. We're an FCS school. I don't know the score. Can you text somebody? Can you text? I can just open the app. We're up 51-29 right now.
All right, at halftime. Go Owls.
Go Owls.
All right. Liberty, who is having a
Plummeting.
tough stretch.
Plummeting.
Once we beat them, they have hit the skids. And they're laying 14 at Massachusetts. And I think they're called the Minutemen because that's about how long they play, for a minute. And then and then the rest of the time it's the other team. So,
Yeah, they only got 2 wins. There's a reason why they're not favored in this
Yeah.
one, that's for sure.
so I'm going to take the Flames.
What says you?
Oh, I think I'm still going to go with Liberty. They've got to turn this around at some point.
You know, I'm going to take UMass. Give me all those points. You know, UMass, they played Mississippi State last week, and you know who they played in 2 weeks?
Who was that?
Georgia.
Oh, that's right.
So, you know, if ever there's a game they might win on their schedule, it's this one. Give me those points.
That game against Georgia will be a big mess.
It'll be for the Natty.
Yeah. Adam, how about you?
Well, this is a UMass team. They played Missouri at home, which was it was weird, the fact that Missouri traveled to UMass. They played Mississippi State last week. Tough game against Mississippi State. Liberty bounced back last week. They beat MTSU by 20, I believe. I think it was 37-17.
On the road.
Kadon Salter looked much better last week. I watched a big portion of that game. So I'm going to take the Flames.
All right, three flames and a
Whatever.
and a UMass.
And
Yeah.
whatever UMass
All right.
is.
Another Bulldog game. Louisiana Tech plus 14 at the Big Blob. You made a trip to the Big Blob this year. Did they
Yeah, but
impress you?
Flow Ride is not opening for this one. But
Flow Ride.
Hey, just because you went to Nowhereville in Kentucky and Flo Rida was doing concerts, I mean, it's almost like people just show up when they think you're showing up.
it's weird that I would say Flow Rider was better than the barbecue, but but it was.
I'm just saying, that says a lot about the barbecue.
Yeah.
I will take the Big Blob.
Oh, they're on a roll this year. Western Kentucky's doing very well. I'm going to go with Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I took the 14 points in the last game. I'll give them in this one. I'll take the Blobs with you.
Western Kentucky is 7-2 this year, led by Veltkamp, their starting quarterback. He's a pretty good runner, if I remember right. I've only watched a couple Western Kentucky games this year. Louisiana Tech has not looked good in the few games that I watched. I think I watched them play FIU a couple weeks ago. That was a terrible game. Their offense looks disgusting. I'm taking Western Kentucky.
Disgusting even.
Everybody's on the
Disgusting.
Big Blob. All right. Florida International minus 14 at Jacksonville State. Is that right?
Jacksonville State is favored by 14 at home. They're 6-3, and
That's right. It should be a plus 14.
Larry wrote that wrong.
Correct.
Okay, I was wondering how Florida International was
Yeah,
FIU
favored.
is 3-6 and not favored by 14 on the road in this game. I'll take those. What do we call it? What do we call the bowling team again?
Chickens?
Gutter Girls.
The Gutter Girls. I'll take the school where the Gutter Girls come from.
All right. Robert takes the Gutter Girls.
I'm taking the boyfriends of the Gutter Girls.
Okay.
Oh, wow. The guys who like the Gutter. Are we going to match on everything? Because I'm going to have to go with Jacksonville State as well.
It's not hard to match on everything when it's 6-3 versus 3-6, and this next
And
game,
when the
this
point
next one's
spreads
going
are
to get
14,
ugly.
14,
7-2
14,
versus
and
2-7.
All right, Adam.
FIU has
a
a
popcorn vendor there.
FIU has a terrible offense, but their stadium is named after Pitbull, so that's pretty funny. I knew a girl once that worked for the Jacksonville State football team. I didn't like her.
You called her Pitbull.
I was supposed to say, I know a girl named Pitbull.
So for those reasons, I'm going to go with FIU, even though they'll probably lose this game.
All right, he's the lone wolf on that one. New Mexico State 39 at Texas A&M. Big game for A&M. They got to win by as much as they can against anybody they can.
No kidding.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Aggies.
Although that spread is close to what I predicted the Kennesaw Liberty game, even though we ended up winning.
Even though we ended up winning, yeah.
Yeah, with this spread, the implied score with this spread is 47 to 7.5.
Yeah.
Based on the over/under.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm going to have to go with the Mexico State because at some point Texas
a lot of
A&M.
points.
Yeah, that's a lot of points. I'm going to go with Texas or New Mexico State.
The Agbos.
Agbos.
All
By
right.
the way, I went to New Mexico. My wife did not.
I saw that picture.
My wife did not go for the let's leave the game and try drive to Las Cruces and see the ending of
The second half?
the New Mexico State game.
Oh,
She
wow.
didn't go for that.
Yeah, okay.
But she still drove your butt to the border and took a picture of you with the flag.
Well, we were trying.
Unless that was a stranger.
No, we're trying to get to all 50 states, and so it counts when you just go just across the border.
Absolutely, it counts. Adam, how about you?
Marcel Reed and this Texas A&M offense looked really, really good a couple weeks ago.
Popcorn vendor or quarterback?
A quarterback.
Okay.
Marcel Reed is the starting quarterback. He's great on the read option plays. New Mexico State's only wins this season are Southeast Missouri and Louisiana Tech. Southeast Missouri is not good, and neither is Louisiana Tech. And this is at home for Texas A&M. They've got the 12th man behind them. Give me Texas A&M.
Yeah, he's making fun of directional schools like, it's, Northeast West University. But only one of their wins was against Northeast West
Is
University.
Southeast Missouri State.
Northwest, Southeast.
We just call them
Missouri,
SEMO.
North
I do like directional
Yeah,
schools.
SEMO.
I'm going A&M just because this game does mean a lot to them, but that is a lot of points.
It is a lot of points.
It's probably going to be a shutout. I'm guessing 47-0 or something.
And all right, we've got our home game. Sam Houston laying 14 at KSU. It's going to be a chilly day on Saturday.
It is going to be a chilly
in
day.
more ways than one. Tell us about it, Will.
We have a chili cook-off in the parking lot at the Black Lot, so stop by for some chili. We've got at least 6 or 7 different varieties going on, and we've got some prizes for the best chili. And we will have a vegetarian chili. Now, I'm not going to tell you which one it is because, surprisingly, the lady that cooks the vegetarian food makes very good food.
That's Jody Hart, right?
Jody does a very good job.
Yeah, I love you, Jody, but I'm not eating any vegetarian chili. If
Well,
I'm
that's
eating
man, I'm
chili,
telling
I
you.
mean, I mean,
You
But if you're
should
not-
trick Chuck
But
into
if you're not
eating
getting a
vegetarian
roadmap,
chili.
they're saying you won't know the difference.
You might not know.
If you can't,
Trick Chuck into eating vegetarian chili.
I'll eat it, but I won't enjoy it.
Oh my goodness, what she makes is very good.
All right. So obviously, I'm going KSU plus the points.
Well, this is Chandler Burke's coaching debut, head coaching debut.
Youngest coach in FBS football.
Absolutely, he's like 28 years old.
saw a picture of him with you out on the field.
Absolutely, I posted that the other day. A picture of when he was still playing.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I don't know what's going to happen. We also, another thing that's going on is we're doing our Hall of Fame induction at I think at halftime, and Chandler Burks is actually being inducted into the Kennesaw Hall of Fame on his coaching debut. Kind of interesting. But that being said, Sam Houston, ugliest stadium in all of FBS. I'm still going, so I have to say that every week. Kennesaw State's going to take this one.
All right. I like that call. Adam?
I'm going to be on the radio calling the game. I am.
Oh, you're going to abstain?
I'm going to pull a Kirk Herbstreit, and I will abstain from picking the winner of this game.
You know, I kind of like that because now we don't have to listen to who the popcorn vendor was.
I mean, I
and the
could tell you
quarterbacks
about
and the
I could
trainers
tell you
and
about
all that
Sam
stuff.
Houston State if you want to know about Sam Houston.
Hey, but
I
I'd
do,
rather
because there's
not.
a popcorn vendor in Section 213. Who's
There is.
There is. He's the talk of the town.
Best friends with the popcorn
You know what
vendor
I
in
mean?
Section
Orville
213.
Redenbacher. That's who it is.
I
the
will tell you
popcorn
that
vendor.
Mr. Williams, the athletic director at Sam Houston, is a very nice gentleman and runs a great program. He still has an ugly stadium, but he's a great guy.
Well, he's not a builder, right?
No, but he
Stadium's
did supply us with food while we were in the suite at the game over there a couple years ago. So
That's cool.
I have to say he's fairly nice.
Rooting for that rookie head coach, man.
Absolutely.
There you go. I'm going to put Adam down for Sam Houston since he won't pick.
No, I'm
No.
not. I'm not allowed
You-
to pick because I'm supposed to be impartial.
You're not allowed to pick because you want to say, I'm just like Kirk Herbstreit.
No,
That's
I'm not
why you
allowed to
won't.
pick because I'm
Hey.
calling the
Wait,
game on the radio.
Who said you're not allowed to pick?
Kirk Herbstreit doesn't pick the games he
Kirk
calls.
Herbstreit call you and say you can't call this game?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
I am
I
best
just
friends with
have
Kirk
one thing.
Herbstreit.
I think we're all going to be right, but there's no way he gets street cred for that. So can you put Fresno State for him?
I will.
Fresno State. There you go. I will say this.
You
I don't know
got
if I've.
Fresno in that game, so it's not looking good. Since they're
I'm
not gonna
trying to
here.
be impartial.
I
That's
have
good.
to. I have to
I
ask
just
a
don't want
question
you
here.
Backing into a win.
I'm trying to find the picture because I don't know if you guys know about this. Several years ago, when after Chandler graduated, he was a graduate assistant at Wofford.
Yep.
And that was the season,
Terriers?
the Terriers, and that was the season that we played Wofford in the playoffs.
And they beat us, right?
No, we beat them. that was the season that
Oh,
Bryson.
that was the first round of the playoffs.
It was the first round when Bryson got the football. That's the football that Bryson gave me on the show was from
Right.
that game. Well, I actually wore a shirt to that game. It said Chandler. It had Burks' name and his number, and I wore a red wig because Chandler's got this bright
Right.
red hair. And everybody thought I was crazy because I was just trying to harass Chandler, who was on the other sideline. And everybody kept texting his mother, "You've got to come see Will. He's dressed like your son."
Oh, that's funny.
And so I don't know should I wear the red wig to this game since he's his coaching debut.
I would love to see that. That would be nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear what all the people in the black lot think when you show up with red hair.
Well, they're used to me
used
being
to
They're used
silly.
to that, yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've had another fabulous show. We want to thank Will, as always, for coming on and making picks with us and giving us his recap of the road trip. Nia Kelly, Sabrina Kim, Aaron Thorne, thank you for making this show extra special tonight. And we look forward to being back again next week right here at Miller's Ale House for another Big Owl show. Can I get one more? Hootie hoo. Hootie hoo.